Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wednesday Night Modern here at MTGCardMarket. I'm Matthew Cartier, joined in the booth by Dan Dwan. Hoping to see some good Modern tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got what promises to be an interesting round one here queued up already. So we can throw it down. As we've got Nick and Jerry playing against Paul Green here.
Nick is playing something brewy. Because what else? Because Nick literally does nothing else.
Yes.
So,
well, I mean, it looks like Nick did win the rock, paper, scissors war here.
this is true. So he will be on the play, which is always an advantage. So we've seen Nick play like mono black, Phyrexian Obliterator, Fight Club stuff. We've seen him a long time ago play Horror Tribal with Spellskite, Thing in the Ice, and Hunted Horror. Paul, I believe, is playing Grixis Shadow.
Yes.
In the words of Paul to me, it's a Steam Vents deck that's actually good. There's no way I'm not going to play it. Despite the fact that, most lists are playing 1 or 2 Steam Vents max, that's enough.
Yeah, it's close enough. They also, you get the luxury of Snapcasters as well, which not a terrible card.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens here. This is sort of if you do plan to play something a little bit off the wall like Nick and Jerry often does. This is a matchup that you sort of have to test because it exists in Modern in great numbers. There are I feel like a lot more people own Snapcasters and things than they do like Tarmogoyfs, for instance. So you're gonna play Grixis Shadow a fair bit. Jund Shadow also very popular.
I'm eternally entertained by the decks that Nick brews up.
Yeah, although I think our camera is frozen here. We're gonna give it a reset.
All
right,
we're fixed it up.
Yeah, looks like we're good to go here. So these, I think they're waiting to hear the finish of the speech of the judge. Yeah, so chat here. Okay, so yeah, they will be underway shortly. We're sort of in a lull when it comes to Magic stuff because people are really waiting for Pro Tour MTGCard to sort of break out the new things.
Yeah, Pro Tour MTGCard happening this weekend in I believe it's in Nashville.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So most pros from around the world have flown in already.
Sure, testing.
Yeah. Notably, it's worth noting.
I think Paul has done a switcheroo on us. He's no longer playing Grixis Shadow.
He's got Supreme Verdict in hand, so that seems unlikely. He might be on just blue-white.
I think he's on just blue-white control. When he fetched for an island, I was a little bit surprised, given that Grixis Shadow wants to knock its life total down as fast as it can. So I'd have to imagine that he swapped decks with someone and is now playing this. So we'll see what Nick's got. He'll play a tapped Mystic Monastery. That is a Jeskai Triland.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen
good
Mystic
in
Monastery.
cons. Yes. Another Serum Visions here from Paul. Continuing to figure out, do some selection. Woo, that is a Gideon of the Trials in hand, though. We got some spice in this control deck. Gideon of the Trials, new Mtgcard Planeswalker. Some would say very powerful. And wow, that's the third Serum Visions Paul has cast this game. Dude is deep in the deck right now.
Yeah, I mean, if your opponent's not doing anything, you scry with Serum Visions and you see another Serum Visions, you might as well keep it. But it looks like Nick's not doing a whole lot. He's played 2 tap lands and, is he gonna, no.
That is a irrigated farmland.
It is.
And Paul is out at Think Twice? Yes, it is. We'll cycle a Think Twice end of turn. Draw stuff for Paul. So this is a little bit different than some, clearly blue-white control. I'm doing blue-white control things, but with Gideon of the Trials as an inclusion, not something you see in every list on MTGO.
No. So the problem with this new Gideon, especially in more powerful formats, outside of Standard, is that none of the abilities line up very well. It looks like a camera might have froze.
Freeze again.
There we go.
Don't play the Gideon, though.
Yeah, the plus ability will fog something, in perpetuity, but the 4/4 is not really that impressive. It gets blocked by a lot of things, and the ultimate is almost irrelevant. Yeah. If you can attack the opponent, you can attack a Planeswalker.
Yeah, we're having some consistent camera problems here. Okay, yeah. Can you go unplug? Okay, so Dan is going to see if he can rejigger the camera. This normally happens once a stream. We will be back down to the game as soon as possible. Let's see. Yeah, and we're back in it. Okay, so it looks like Gajeri just... Oh my god, he entreated the angels for 2!
Ooh,
so he miracled and entreat the angels. What's happening in this game of Magic? Well, it doesn't matter because Paul's going to Supreme Verdict those away. But, ladies and gentlemen, that was an entreat the angels off the top there for Nick and Jerry. So there are miracles in the deck.
So this opens the world to a lot of things. Nick, that's a bonfire?
What?
How is he casting? Oh,
the Mystic Monastery. Yo, so
sure.
What is in this deck? This is Jeskai Miracles, it looks like?
It looks like it. So, I mean, other cards we would probably be seeing Temporal Master.
Paul Spreading sees the Mystic Monastery for, to say, please do not bonfire me ever again. Mm-hmm. Does get in another crack with the Gideon, though. The beatdown's proving pretty effective here against Gajeri's deck. I don't know if he has a way to deal with this resolved Gideon.
Yeah, it looks like Gajeri has a Terminus in hand, a Remand. So this looks just like... This is probably Miracles, not deck.
Yeah.
And not Miracles in a Legacy context, but actual miracles.
Yeah, just like if you draw a card off the top that happens to be a miracle card, you can miracle it. There might be telling time.
Sure. Temporal Mastery, almost certainly a 4 of in this deck. I'm a little curious to see how deep Nick went. Does he have counterbalance in this?
Something tells me blind counterbalance is not good.
I mean, you're gonna
According
hit
to my doctor. 3 mana, bonfire for 1 here.
He's gonna get mana leaked here. Ooh.
Gajeri has a response.
But yeah, unfortunately, I think he has a Remand in hand. A Remand the mana leak is a little
you
worse.
remand your own bonfire maybe, but so that'll happen. Back over to Paul. Paul draw. Animate Colonnade, 0 the Gideon, go to town. Nick says, I've had enough. We're going to go to game 2 right quick. So, Gideon of the Trials looking pretty good there, just beaten down. Although I suspect if Nick had a Path to Exile, that would have changed quickly. But yeah. So
one thing you can do with this, if Nick is actually on the Miracles deck, you want a lot of card draw at instant speed because that gives you 2 looks at the Miracles. So if you play Think Twice on your opponent's turn, you can Miracle a Terminus.
Also remand, if you remand something that your opponent casts on their turn, that can check for a miracle.
Right.
But really you're just trying to draw step a miracle and not draw it at any other time.
Yeah, well, we saw there Nick, having 2 bonfires. Certainly it looked very awkward in this matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure bonfire's where you want to be. Paul bringing in negates. I saw Vendilion Click go in. Notably, we might get to see the interaction from Legacy that's common there, which is where Miracle trigger on the stack, I click it out of your hand, and you don't get to cast it, which is it's a very counterintuitive interaction because you're like, draw, I have a Miracle. And your opponent's like, great, that's a trigger. I will click you now. And it counts as being in your hand.
Right. For the Miracle trigger to be on the stack, the card has to be in your hand.
CW8 Smith points out the cycle lands, too, give Nick the ability to draw on his opponent's turn.
And that does explain the irrigated farmland. That's a very good point.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can see some of the slower blue-white control decks maybe playing 1 irrigated farmland.
It's
a fetchable. It can draw you. It cycles itself, obviously.
Right.
But the question is if you have that as your 4th lane, you're already playing 4 colonnades.
Yeah, even if because that leads you into situations where you might have, your opening hand has irrigated farmland, glacial.
Yeah, it has
colonnade.
Oh, I mean,
and then all of a sudden, if that was anything else, the hand would be acceptable. All of a sudden, it's now heinous.
Wait, irrigated farmland, glacial fortress, colonnade?
No, not glacial. Excuse me. Irrigated farmland and colonnade.
Yeah.
You get weird hands like that. Kind of in if you play like the filter lands, if you play
Sure.
2, your hand is double Twilight Mire and nothing else, and it just feels bad.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Okay, so we'll go over to Nick. He'll start with a Scalding Tarn. Pass the turn back to Paul. He'll play a Flooded Strand. Who control? Let's go. All right, Nick will crack the Flooded Strand, or crack the Scalding Tarn, and a turn fall to 19 here. Paul does not have Stifle in his deck, which is good for Paul.
Yeah,
would
I mean, he can have Stifle next turn in the form of Squelch.
He could also have just Shadow Doubt.
Well, Shadow of Doubt.
I love me some Shadow of Doubt.
Shadow of Doubt prevents searching.
Yeah.
Squelch is actual Stifle.
Yeah, it's just not good.
Well, you also draw the card.
Still not good. Yeah, so Paul will fetch here. Nick also not representing the ability to cast Shadow of Doubt, so it's fine.
No, but it is representing Squelch.
Oh my goodness.
Look, it's worth pointing out. All right, but Paul actually finally, I believe that's the irrigated farmland.
Was I right?
Yeah.
I was right. Oh yeah.
The cycle does have value in that if you top deck it late, you can get rid of your 10th land.
At Wild Dragonite in the chat, any Lantern players? I think our Lantern player is not playing Lantern tonight because Tony's probably playing green.
Correct.
Okay. Paul will play a Plains and pass. Nick will sacrifice his fetch land, fall to 18.
Probably a Hallowed Fountain here,
Or just a Steam Bends.
right. Steam giving him double red, which I don't think is relevant, but
I don't know if it is. I'm not sure if it's relevant either, but I guess double white is more relevant if you hit an entreat or something, right?
yeah, but we're pretty far
Yeah.
from that.
Notably, Nick does have to check the top card every time he draws before he puts it in his hand.
Yeah.
Double white now will play a Relic of Progenitus, and Paul will think about responding.
Yeah, Paul's got a mana leak, so it's depends on whether or not he cares enough to do something about this.
All right, here's the Gideon of the Trials that was so effective last game. I wonder if Nick has a way to beat it. He will, yeah. He relics Paul, draws a remand, and just passes back. No land drop though, and that is where these games sort of get out of control.
Right. Paul,
Notably though, Paul doesn't have Cryptic unless he wants to Ghost Quarter himself here. So,
but Paul has mana leak, which
Yeah.
is going to pretty much put a damper on any of Nick's plans.
yeah, that's the thing, right? Like Mana Leak becomes super good when your opponent doesn't have lands.
Because of the way that Nick played, he didn't represent having any counter magic up.
And you just jam the Gideon.
Right, and then that gave Paul a window to jam the Gideon, and Nick just doesn't have a way to punish this.
Yeah. Chad pointing out that so Serum Visions is going to get remanded by Nick. Just I think as a way to dig. I think he's probably just like the first card that my opponent plays.
Nick is also looking for a Terminus.
Oh, true. Yeah, if he gets Terminus there, he can put the Gideon on the bottom.
Right.
Draw step.
This actually
Does find a land though. Has an Engineered Explosives now. Tapping out for explosives is going to be pretty dangerous, I think.
Yeah, it's also very unlikely going to resolve. Knowing the context of Paul's deck, like what I've seen so far, Paul almost certainly has a mana leak or a remand.
Right.
So unless you have to play this, I would be a little hesitant to do so.
Sure.
But I mean, Nick might be at the point where he just
this
has
is
to
a
do
Mind Stone. This is another instant speed way to draw a card.
this. Ooh, okay, Mind Stone, that seems perfectly fine.
Paul will untap and draw.
Draw some
Snapcaster. Okay. A little bit worse with the Relic, but he'll zero the Gideon and just start bashing. And in this, like, if Nick doesn't have a way to just, like, if Nick doesn't have any paths, like, this Gideon is just going to win the game in 3 turns.
So this is something I really don't like what Paul is doing. I would if you're going to cast Serum Visions, you should do this before attacking.
Sure.
Because, like, Nick can always cycle this Relic to draw a card. If he had a Remand, like, again, the same play of Remand, Terminus is online.
Looks like a tech edge here from Paul. He'll target the Hallowed Fountain, and we'll see if Nick has responses. So I think Nick is going to Yeah, so Nick exiles all graveyards with Relic, draws.
Finds a Terminus.
Mana leak? Yeah, this has to be leaked, right?
I mean, there's no reason to leave your Gideon. So if Paul mana leaks, he's gonna tap out for this, but I don't know.
I don't know if Nick has the.
What can
the
Nick do to
haymaker,
punish
yeah.
you?
Yeah. All right, untap from Nick here. Draw a step. Bonfire
Ooh,
for
bonfire
3.
Ugh, that's awkward.
Mm-hmm. Put your opponent to 15 here.
Yeah, and because
Oh wait, no. The damage got redirected to
the
Gideon.
damage got redirected. Yep.
Yeah. Attack for 4 on Paul's turn. So this match looks like it's coming pretty quickly to a close if Nick can't find something to get this Gideon off the table.
Yeah, Paul's gonna be tapping with Mana Leak, Cryptic Command, like a whole variety of nonsense.
What? Oh, Temple Bell? Gets Cryptic. Okay, so if Paul draws a land here, he's got... Yeah, okay, so he just plays the Hallowed Fountain and the game is over, I think. Because he can snap Cryptic, whatever Gajeri does. Yeah. You might want to be thinking about who we're going to get next. Draw step here. Well, it's not over yet, but... Alright, Dan's gonna hop out of the booth as this one appears to be coming pretty rapidly to a close. Nick, thinking about going to 1? Has 2 Temporal Masteries in hand, it looks like, which is just unfortunate. Obviously would have preferred those Time Walks to be on his turn. Or for the Temporal Masteries to have been his draw step. LeBrew looks sweet. It just, sometimes when you play a luck-based mechanic like Miracles, it doesn't pay off. But yeah, Paul has Snap Cryptic up, so I don't think anything that Nick can do is going to end up mattering. Yeah, so Gideon of the Trials looks like proving its worth in these control mirrors. If you can resolve it, it's not, it is 3 mana, so it's a little bit cheaper. So I think Nick's going to have to go for a Terminus here. But I don't think it's going to matter. Hang on. Let's see. Crack the Mind Stone. See if we can hit a Terminus on top. Top card. Okay. But I think Gideon has that silly prevent damage clause, right? Prevent all damage that would be dealt to him this turn. Yeah, Paul does not care. Snapcaster. Target Cryptic. That's going to do it. Blue-white control on the back of the very new, very fancy Gideon of the Trials. Getting there in 2 quick games against Jeskai Miracles. Not particularly close. The Gideon just attacked 5 times both games, and that was it. So, but it looks like Dan is back, and potentially we have another match coming.
Yeah, we do. But yeah, like we saw in the last match, sometimes you just need a turn 3 threat, and that will carry it away.
I mean, Gideon seems like one of those cards, and especially like when you aren't drawing your paths like Nick wasn't. It just seems very, very good. In specifically this matchup, not many other matchups I think are gonna want to play a 4/4 attacker.
Sure, but again, like playing a turn 3 somewhat resilient threat is fine, and especially in matchups like this where you can kind of dodo around a lot.
Yeah.
It's just like if your opponent ever plays 2 creatures, it feels a little silly because the pressure's not really
you kind of the goal is this card functions sort of similarly to a Johnny Vengeant. It's just the ult is not as punishing,
right?
And that's the problem, right? Is like with a Johnny Vengeant, when you play a Johnny and make them play a second creature into the board, and then you have a deck with sweepers in it, it can be you get 2-for-1s with your Supreme Verdicts because they have 1 creature tapped and 1 creature that's that they want to fight with, but you just kill both of them for free. So like this Gideon though, it's not plussing towards anything spooky, right? When a Johnny Vengeant ults, the game is for all intents and purposes over. Gideon of the Trials, as powerful as the abilities on it may be, doesn't end the game on 9 or something.
No, and I mean the Gideon ult is interesting in that it has the words you can't lose the game, but it functions on the exact same axis of how you would normally lose the game.
Right, yeah. if you're getting attacked for a lot, then your Gideons are going to get attacked for a lot. Who are we watching here?
We're watching Sam Graebner play against Ian Sivak.
Okay, so Sam.
And Sam is going to be up a game. We're going to game 2 here.
Okay, so match record 1-0.
Yeah. And Ian is on some variety of Storm. I believe we've had him on camera in the past.
And Sam is on Grixis Shadow.
Correct. Our original backup matchup finished quite quickly.
What was the matchup?
I believe it was Revolt Zoo against Blue-White.
So I'm assuming Blue-White just got run over?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, this should be an interesting matchup. Ian actually even has a Storm counter up there, which is
it's sort of glared out. So, and I'm gonna assume it's Gift Storm if he's playing Storm. I did see the As Foretold deck in the room tonight though with Restore Balance and stuff.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. Hang on.
So one problem I have with running a Restore Balance is you can it's not embarrassing to hard cast to like suspend an ancestral visions, right? Like that's a perfectly fine play. But for Restore Balance, your deck has to be built around this. Else, I mean, this is a symmetrical effect.
This is true.
Which, if you're not playing creatures, this is going to be Wrath of God, but it also, this counts lands too.
Yeah.
So you can't really play this in a hard control show.
Okay, so we're looking at Sam's hand. He's got 2 Serum Visions, 1 land, Fatal Push, Snapcaster, double Death Shadow. I think you keep this because you have 2 Serum Visions, but it's super marginal. You're obviously, if Ian, so if Ian's on Storm, you're looking for, I don't know if that's Storm. Is Ian the Amulet? Oh, wait, no, it's...
Oh, excuse me, Ian is not on Storm. He might just be on Amulet. That's what we had him on, right?
Yeah, because he has the cool mana counter thing where he tracks when he floats. All right, so if he's on Amulet Titan and I know it, I still might keep it. I just want discard because killing Primeval Titan is really hard.
I think Sam has a Fatal Push in hand though. Mm-hmm. Which is going to be excellent against a lot of things that Ian could be doing.
For example, you have to kill the Sakura Tribe Scout right now.
Right.
Kill it. There we go. Sakura Tribe Scout, sort of one of the cards that got picked up in after the Summer Bloom ban as a way to get more land drops.
And this isn't actually even the first, the second iteration of that Amulet Bloom deck.
Sorge.
This is
Fatal Push is such a good Magic card.
This is the 3rd or 4th iteration of this deck.
Yeah.
But the format has just gone to a place where Sakura Tribe Scout is just a lot better.
Yeah, I think that's true. Lightning Bolt's at an all-time low. Mm-hmm. Another Sakura Tribe Scout.
And do we have a second
there's
land
a second land. It's a Gemstone Mine into an Amulet. Okay, so now you need to kill the other Scout, or you might... Okay, so Sam rips the land. Let's see if he can draw Serum Visions like an animal. Or see if he can draw something off the Serum Visions.
Alright, so Sam remembers... Fetch first before you Serum Visions?
It's one of those things that we sort of joke about, but I swear I've missed it a lot.
Alternatively, Sam could have used...
I actually sort of like getting... it's hard to know what to get, but I don't hate Steam Vents here because I feel... Or I guess there's only 2 bolts probably, so maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's likely that Sam is only going to fire off one of these Serum Visions because he wants to keep up Stubborn Denial. But depending on what he draws and what he sees...
So he draws a Terminate.
So there's a Street Wraith and a Thoughtseize. I want both of those cards.
I think what you probably do is you top the Street Wraith. I mean, yeah, so you top the Street Wraith. Does he go top bottom here? Maybe he wants to draw the Thoughtseize. Or he just passes with Stubborn Denial up.
Passes with Stubborn Denial up.
I don't know what Stubborn Denial is denialing without an enabled creature. Like, this deck, casts Summoner's Pact.
Oh, actually, you're right. This is...
I don't think this is right.
This is not Force Spike. This is just Negate. I keep forgetting that. In light of that, I think I might be more inclined to fire off the second Serum Visions.
Yeah, for me, it's not close.
Because it's very different. It's very difficult to hit a spell.
Right, and this,
especially with an Amulet and a Sakura Tribe Scout out.
He's going to make a ton of mana. He's going to have plenty to pay.
Because, Force Spiking a free spell is...
Not good.
Not great.
It's been better.
I mean, Ian could go like Ancient Stirrings here, which, again, you're very far from Force Spiking it.
There's a Sakura Tribe Scout potentially representing putting in an additional 2 mana into play.
Right.
So, like, and the biggest thing is that the problem card for this deck, the card that Amulet Titan is going towards is Primeval Titan, which Force Spike does it, which Stubborn Denial doesn't hit. Force Spike would, but this is just negate slash.
If you had the new Censor. Well, a Censor cost 1.
Yeah, a Censor cost 1 and be broken.
Well, it'd be very good.
Okay, so Teleria West. Untap Teleria West. Sure. Full of Teleria West here.
You got Cavern Cells. Okay.
Probably naming Giant. I think this is an activation.
Yes, that must have been the activation.
Oh, right, because that's how you got the... Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So we went for Chalice on 2, it looks like, and then it got Force Spike. Okay, so Sam looks like a genius now.
Yeah, now Sam just looks like a genius. Like, of course that's what we're going to hit. Of course.
Okay, so he's going to get to play 2 very big Death Shadows. Or not very big, but like relatively large. He'll go to 9 here, so the Shadows will be 4/4s. I'm a little bit surprised to see the Thoughtseize on the bottom, though.
Yeah, no, I think he topped both cards.
No. He bottomed one. I'm like I literally, he just went through his deck. There's a Thoughtseize on the bottom.
Well, I mean, it could be a second Thoughtseize on the bottom. I'd be surprised if he bottomed the Thoughtseize.
I don't see it in his hand, Dan, so I'm going to say that he bottomed it.
That's very surprising.
I agree. I think here, if I'm saying, like, obviously you want to be able to hold up Terminate in response to Primeval Titan, but I think Ian's on, like, 1 card in hand, so... But, again, this is enough pressure, right? Like, holding up Terminate is only... Like, that just pays off for you if this goes like you think it's going to go. Yeah, he did bottom a Thoughtseize.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised about that.
I am, too. I think that the card is actually super good in this matchup
because there are very few cards in Ian's deck that are relevant.
Also, what is... I feel like Shadow decks lose harder to Chalice on 1 than Chalice on 2, but maybe Ian was making the next level, I'm going to Chalice his Terminates out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that presumably is what Ian... I mean, that's the only card really on 2 that...
Snapcaster as well, but you don't care.
Yeah, we're at the point where, like, Snapcaster doesn't matter. Ian might have also had a handful... Like, his last card might have been the Ancient Stirrings, so that's very awkward if you put it on 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think... you know what? I don't hate putting it on 2 if you have a Primeval Titan, like, ready to go vroom, but he clearly doesn't have a Primeval Titan ready to go vroom here.
Yeah, so my gut thought here, without being able to see Ian's hand, is that Ian had a hand with at least 1 or 2 ones, probably those Ancient Stirrings that he had to resolve, and he was sitting with a Chalice in hand and felt like he had to make a play that turn.
Also, main deck Chalice.
Yeah. Actually, no, that line doesn't make sense either, because if it was the Ancient Stirrings, he could just Ancient Stirrings and then put it onto 1. So Ian was very deliberate about wanting to put it on 2.
I mean, again, Terminate and Snapcaster, I think, are the only 2s in the deck. So.
Yeah, and I mean, more relevant...
He'll take an Engineered Explosives off of the Ancient Stirrings, which is gonna hurt him just about as much as it's gonna hurt Sam.
Yes.
Like he will essentially be 3 for 1-ing himself should he crack an Engineered Explosives for 1 on this board. Like, I don't know if this is good. It might be necessary, but it's not what I'm happy about.
I would... I mean, if you don't put it on 1, what are you putting it on?
Oh, you're not. It's just like you're in this unfortunate position where you have...
But again, you're at 20. You're under no pressure here. You can just put it as 1 as kind of a safety valve.
Also, yeah, CW Smith points out that this might not be Game 1 Chalice, right? We're in Game 2, and that's something that I forgot. Right?
Yes, this is Game 2.
Sam will come across with an attack for 4 here. Ian will fall to 16. Death Shadow, pressuring reasonably. Sam with 2 Terminates. I'm surprised we don't see the second Serum Visions get cast there. Like, I don't know. I guess he's holding up Snap Stubborn Denial, which is just about as good. So
yeah, I think that's a very defensible line. Snap Stubborn.
No, I think that's right. Amulet, Gruul Turf, make red green. So this works if Ian has a
Primeval Titan in hand.
No. It works if he has a Summoner's Pact. because then you can snap Stubborn Denial that. But if this is just like raw Primeval Titan, Ian's going to get value out of the ETB.
Yes.
So
I'm a little surprised to see Ian trash the Gemstone Mines.
Yeah, you're okay. So this is a Primeval Titan. They're counting mana now. Sam says sure. Primeval Titan resolves trigger on the stack. Yeah, here we go. So this will be a terminate on the Titan. And the fact that Sam has 2 terminates here could prove clutch for this game. Like, it's really like you don't beat Primeval Titan.
Yeah. So
in this deck.
I'm actually really not a fan of this play right here. You need to wait for the Primeval Titan trigger to resolve.
Okay. So that he searches up like Sunhome plus he searches up Slayer Stronghold plus Boros Garrison.
Because now he
already has a Teleria West on the battlefield though.
Sure, but now the Sunhome does nothing. So now you guarantee 100% search up Simic and another Teleria West and transmute it now. Whereas the line before, you have a lot of nonsense lands in play, and Ian won't be able to deploy this.
Especially if you went for Boros Garrison, he wouldn't even be able to transmute the Teleria West.
Right, and this is
I think letting the trigger resolve is right.
Yeah, this is actually like a very.
This could cost Sam the game.
Yeah, serious misstep here because Ian can transmute here.
Right, and if I were Ian, what I would be doing is I would be transmuting, and then I would be pacting immediately. He doesn't. I don't think you want to go for Pact when he could have Snap Denial. Given that Denial's already been cast once, I feel like you have to...
So the problem with Pact 8 now is that you're pricing yourself into not casting Primeval next turn.
Yeah,
because you have to pay for the Pact.
That's fair.
Also, of note, Ian can play 4 mana's worth of lands in 1 turn because of the Amulet and the...
Sakura Tribe Scout?
Sakura Tribe Scout, right.
Okay.
Ian does have the line, and it's kind of interesting. He can transmute.
Yep.
For he's 1 mana short. So if he was to transmute the Teleria West, he could get Summoner's Pact for an Azusa.
Sure. But then he wouldn't be able to play the Azusa.
But then he wouldn't be able to play Azusa.
I mean, he could activate the Tribe Scout and put in the Azusa. I just don't know. He only has 2 cards in hand, so he's not going to get a ton of extra.
No, he can't
even
activate the Tribe Scout. Azusa costs 3. He won't have any mana.
I'm saying, so he transmutes for Summoner's Pact with the mana he has up. Oh, right.
He has no mana up right now.
Yeah, he will transmute here, and Sam's like, yep, that resolves. Summoner's Pact, obviously, the get.
Yeah, he only has 2 mana available to him, which is a little bit awkward.
Okay, so this, Summoner's Pact, search your library for a green creature card. Put it in your hand. Pretty good. Do lose the game sometimes.
Yeah, but again, he's not under a whole lot of pressure. Sam is...
Okay, so Sam draws a Street Wraith, which is actually kind of a good draw because his Death Shadow is about to be much more fearsome. Put Sam to 7. Play a land, so the Death Shadow is potentially even bigger now. Okay, if he goes to 4 here, the Death Shadow is a 9/9. He'll just go to 6. Death Shadow's a 7/7 now. Sorry, it was a 6/6 before. It's a 7/7 now. Still obviously have to hold up Terminate at all times for the next Primeval Titan. Although Snap Stubborn Denial is also going to do a lot of work.
Yeah, this is almost going to be a Snap Stubborn Denial here. So if that's the case, I guess you're so far ahead.
Yeah.
That there's no reason to, you might as well leave up Snap Terminate in case, things get, in case Ian just draws the Primeval Titan.
Right, in case things get out of control.
Right.
Ian will go to 9. And the question is, does Sam want to hold up Snap Terminate or not? I actually don't hate so end of turn he's going to activate the Tribe Scout, okay? Put in a Gruul Turf, bounce Teleria West. Sure. Okay, so 6 mana for Ian. Has Pact, too. But if he packs here, I think you 100% Snap Stubborn, right?
Right, with that not particularly close.
Yeah.
You could also play the line of Snap terminating it. Ian can get a bunch more land, but he can't really do anything with it.
Sure.
and he's in like a lot of pressure here.
The Death Shadow being a 7/7, as well as so like if Sam wants to just like end of turn flash in the Snapcaster, he can kill Ian. Oh, I guess you have to play around the fact that there's an engineered explosives on the board though.
Right.
And this is the problem where like, but if Ian does tap out to play Primeval Titan, you can terminate it and then, or you can snap terminate it, and then untap. Like natural terminate the Tribe Scout and attack for lethal.
Correct.
Assuming Ian taps out, which he might not. I guess he'd have a ton of mana from the Primeval Titan, so it doesn't work, I guess.
But he wouldn't have. So let's see. Ian's got 6 mana on board, with potential, land drop and Sakura play, plus the first Primeval Titan trigger. So Ian really needs to have drawn the Primeval Titan to do anything.
Sure.
Because if he draws the Primeval Titan, he'll have enough mana to do a bunch of things. Because then he can pact.
Okay, so he's just gonna pact here. Sam says fine. Let that resolve.
All right. So if this is resolving, that's fine. Sam needs to be careful to terminate during the beginning of combat, because if he does it during the main phase or in response to this trigger, Ian can continue playing things that could attack you. So, for example, Ian might have a second Summoner's Pact. He might have just actual Primeval Titan in hand.
Yeah, so this gets to resolve. Trigger on the stack. Sam says, terminate response again.
Again, I think you really want to wait on this.
Does he have... no, because Sam can flash a Snapcaster to block, but it's going to be close. Like, does he have... He doesn't have Sunhome into... Make my Tribe Scout a 3/1 double striker, right?
No.
Okay.
But it currently doesn't need to be a 3/1 double striker.
Why?
Excuse me. You mean just attack you lethal with Sakura Tribe Scout?
Yeah.
If you went for it,
Sam could fly. No, I don't think he has the mana to.
He has 3 lands. No, he won't have the mana for this.
All right, so Teleria West, Growth Chamber going to enter. Untap. I think Ian might be... Oh, he's almost very dead. I think he's got to think about really does need to think about leaving up this this engineered. He does float a blue mana off the Teleria West though, so we'll see what he does. But like, I'm not. This engineer just like takes Ian. Like I guess he just does have a ton of mana in place, so it doesn't really matter anymore. But like, he needs to rip another Primeval Titan, right? Like,
well, keep in mind, Ian can always block with Sakura Tribe Scout to buy another extra turn. Ian's got some amount of time, especially since...
I don't know if... I mean, Sam will just on the turn he has lethal, just like, kill your Tribe Scout with a Terminate.
So it depends on if Ian's going... Like, it's difficult to tell without knowing what's in Ian's hand, but he's going to leave up Engineered Explosives.
Okay. Sam draws Thoughtseize. We'll probably just fire that off here.
Alright, now we're going to take a look. So we know one card is...
So there's an Azusa and 2 Teleria Wests.
Huh, okay. So Ian had the option of actually running out the Azusa.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Actually, I
and Sam's at force. This is an attack for... This is an attack for a lethal.
I'm actually a little bit surprised by Ian's line. Ian could have tapped the Simic Growth Chamber, played the... Or he could have bounced the Simic Growth Chamber instead of bouncing the Teleria West, then use the mana to play the Azusa.
Yeah.
And then play the Simic Growth Chamber again, untap it, and bounce another land, so you have activation mana for... Oh, and it looks like Ian may have forgotten his Summoner's Pact trigger. He did go to reach and draw a card.
Yeah, Sam says pay for it.
Yeah, it looks like Sam's going to be a good guy Sam and allow Ian to pay for it.
Oh, man. Put the dice on top of your deck, everybody.
So, and one thing we saw there that's actually quite important. Ian chose to bounce a Teleria West instead of bouncing a bounce land.
Yeah. Which
means that he has no way of cycling this.
Right, he can't, like, loop bounce lands.
Right. Because if you play the Azusa, you get 2 extra land drops, that's 6 mana just there. But because he didn't bounce the Simic Growth Chamber,
right.
He's stuck with these dead Teleria West in hand.
Yeah.
And
He'll transmute again. Find another Summoner's Pact. He is just dead to the board unless he engineered here, though.
yeah, I mean, Ian is just telegraphing that he has to engineer it here. But yeah, I think the line where you played the Azusa last turn may have been better.
Sure.
Because then you end up in a position where not only do you have the Azusa developed, you have a Simic Growth Chamber in hand. You can create a ton of mana. And with the Azusa and the Simic Growth Chamber, it means you can bounce the second Talaria West.
This does need to kill the amulet. Yep. So that will go goodbye. Sam's next play is to play a Death Shadow, which is big enough to kill Ian.
Yeah, and again, Sam still has a Snapcaster, so this second Summoner's Pact is not going to be good.
Right. Yeah.
And also, without the amulet, we don't have explosive turns anymore.
No, we just have a Primeval Titan that has to chump block.
Right, and at that point, like Ian has the possibility of getting something big like a Hornet Queen.
Yeah, that's gonna do it.
Which is why,
match.
I think Sam has to fire off the.
Oh no! That's like you slam the door with that play.
Yeah, so, going back a couple turns there, when Ian had the option of playing the Azusa, I think he should have taken that opportunity.
Sure.
And bounced the Simic Growth Chamber in hand.
Yeah.
That just permanently gives him a ton of mana.
Yeah, I agree. I think that getting the Azusa onto the battlefield is right there.
Mm-hmm. And also, you have also another emergency blocker that you can deploy before having to crack the engineered.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, keep blocking and hold up that engineer for as long as you can. But yeah, and then at the very end there, like once the Azusa gets Thoughtseize, I think you just lose. Barring like insane rips, because you have to blow the engineered, you lose your amulet. Like there's not a whole lot.
And also, like, what
do.
are you saving the Azusa for, right? Like.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're saving.
You're saving it, for protection against removal, but at the end of the day, your hand is already bad enough.
Yeah.
The removal is going to be killing Primeval Titan, so if you can actually bait it onto an Azusa,
that's fine.
I'm not.
If someone blows a Terminate on an Azusa, it's like, oh yeah, we did it.
Sure. I mean, there was the issue of you can snap back a path. Snap back a push, and possibly snipe it that way if you crack a fetch or something.
Sure, but it's still not.
Even then,
that takes work.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, perhaps a better line. Ian wasn't very, very rough shape, so no guarantees that would have.
Sam's hand also had he had the second Death Shadow. He also had a fish, so like.
He had a fish, had a Snapcaster Stone hand.
He had a Terminate too, or no? The Terminates were all in the graveyard. The Terminates were in the graveyard, but it did he had Snapcaster for it again.
Right. So he had Snapcaster that could have hit push, Serum Visions, or Terminate, or Stubborn Denial,
or Thoughtseize.
Yeah. So
the thing is if you prevent the Primeval Titans from really getting value, even though Sam was responding to the triggers instead of letting Ian search first, there's once you kill all 4 Primeval Titans, it's really hard to lose.
Well, because this is post board, Ian almost certainly has a Hornet Queen in his deck.
Oh. Yeah, Hornet Queen is also impossible to win against.
And once you play the Hornet Queen, you're in. How do you win? And I think Ian had enough mana toward the end of that.
No, he did. He had 3 bounce lines at least. Sure.
So and with an Azusa, don't forget, Azusa represents just 6 mana.
So much mana. Yeah. So yeah, Hornet Queen is a powerful Magic card. It is very difficult for Death Shadow to beat, barring you're not playing the white splash and you cast Kozilek's Return or Anger of the Gods, which is a legitimate and played sideboard inclusion, but
but almost certainly not in what.
But you're not bringing it in against Amulet.
Yeah.
But you might if you see a Hornet Queen and then you go to game 3 because you literally can't beat 5 Death Touchers. Right? These decks aren't playing Team or Battle Rage where you just first strike past them.
Yeah, Hornet Queen is a very common include. It's possible that Ian didn't have access to this.
Card's kind of insane though.
Yeah, because I'm not sure. Oh no, Ian had exactly 6 mana on his first one.
Yeah, you're right.
So possibly some consideration for Sam. Instead of letting the first Summoner's Pact resolve, possibly Stubborn Denial in it.
Because if he gets Hornet Queen, you just lose?
You just lose.
Yeah.
You have a lot of 2-for-1s in your deck. This requires 5 cards.
Yeah, you don't get through this card ever. When 1 insect token is enough, you're just oh god, what have I done?
Yeah, if you don't run Team or Battle Rage, which the Grixis no longer do,
Yeah.
You play Hornet Queen, and it's
Well,
like
the other thing-
nice 10-10, you idiot.
Yeah. Well, the other thing with Hornet Queen that is like, you know, that you have to keep in mind as well is like if you go to a super low life total, it is just like 6
Just
power.
6 power in the air.
It's 6 power in the air. Like I don't think you're blocking.
Right. So yeah, it's certainly an interesting game. When we get a moment between rounds, we might solicit some feedback from our players in the field. But looks like we've got about 5-10 minutes left in this round.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, certainly saw some quick matchups here, but lot happening in the Magic world in the next couple of weeks and months.
Yeah. I mean, Pro Tour Amonkhet obviously is the big one to talk about, and I think the real question is, like, is there a deck, like, is Mardu Vehicles just going to own the Pro Tour, or are we going to see decks that, like, are geared to go up against that matchup, you know, come out and sort of surprise us?
Absolutely. In the last couple of Pro Tours, there have been level 0 decks, if you will.
Yeah.
The mono white humans deck, from Cup Pros Tours back comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the question really is, can you find something that is better than, the banned Coco deck in the format?
Sure.
And, for a lot of individual players, and even some teams, the answer just might be no. The answer might be, let's just find the best version of Mardu Vehicles against in the mirror. One option that I've seen some teams go is going the hard control route. We've had a lot of cards
like
printed.
blue-red, blue-white?
Blue-white, maybe Jeskai.
Okay.
Because, the control elements have gotten better. You have
Sensor seems like a legitimately good card in Standard.
Torrential Gearhulk is as good as it has always been.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
not quite that one.
this
There we
one.
go, yes.
That first one is legal in Standard right now. I just probably garbage, so.
Not a whole lot of searching
Yeah.
in the format right now, right? Although, if Traverse the Ovenwald is popular, Even Mind Sensor does hit Traverse pretty well. But speaking of, so it should be interesting to see how the Standard format develops. If it is dominated by Mardu Vehicles, that has implications. Maybe we see another ban coming up, because this deck has been Tier 1 for quite some time. But, it'll be exciting. I'm always excited about Pro Tour time, because you get to see what the best minds in Magic have come up with.
Yeah. Also, one thing that's worth talking about. So recently, Star City Games announced their schedule for the next, for the rest of the year, basically.
Right. And actually, I was just about to bring that up. Yeah.
So there is so much Modern, and there's so little everything else.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
The season for the rest of the year pretty much is mono Modern with 2 team events, and a release weekend there is a Standard event.
Right. So it's like.
And I believe there's 1 Legacy open.
There's 1 Legacy open. Yeah. There's 2 team events. And then there's 2 release weekend Standard events.
Right. And
then the rest is just Modern, like every single week, which is like, I feel like, with a large tournament series like this, Star City is like moving in on sort of like, because Wizards isn't really doing Modern GPs anymore. Like the next Modern GP, other than Vegas, is in like, that like, is reasonable for someone in maybe the Chicago area to go to, that's not like overseas, is like OKC in like December. So like, you've got to wonder, if you're in, for people who really like Modern, you're wondering like, where's the Modern? Well, it's on SCG, and so if you're in the, Midwest/East Coast area, you're going to play so much Modern.
Yeah, and worth noting, less so Midwest now.
More just East.
Yeah, we've seen actually a surprising cut in because SCG Indy is almost guaranteed in every season. There isn't one this time.
Right.
There's no SCG Milwaukee. Surprisingly, if you're in the Chicago area, these are starting to become quite far away.
Yeah, so we're looking like Syracuse, Richmond, Charlotte,
right.
Baltimore, Louisville.
These are not Midwest,
Since he's like the furthest west, I think that they're going to go. Which, it's a little unfortunate, and I think it just has to do with the, sort of with like venue space and available. Like SCG Indy specifically, I think like they were like Ben Blairweiss, who is the president of SCG, was asked what happened to SCG, and he's like, it was a venue availability thing. We'll be back at some point. Like,
although the term venue availability is vague enough, where it's like Is it the venue was unavailable,
or is it just cost too much?
Yeah, or was was it an issue of cost?
I mean, frankly, I don't know what else happens in Indianapolis, so like, but you know.
I mean, on a weekly basis, we get the city of Indianapolis gets to disappoint Andrew Luck.
This is true, or vice versa sometimes.
But yeah, so I mean, I think this like from what SCG has demonstrated, it's certainly a good business decision, right? The location of the SCG, in part has to be a cost-cutting measure as well, right? These are certainly much closer to Roanoke, and from a staffing perspective, easier for their staff to get to. But also, just the modern format in general. Not only is the general populace more interested in it, it's also a better financial decision, right?
Yeah.
Modern decks cost quite a bit more, and are considered more of an investment. People are much happier to like commit to a modern deck or commit to modern cards than are standard ones.
Right. When standard decks were in the Jace Fetchlands era were approaching like $500-600, people were like, wait, I could just buy like almost all of Affinity for this money.
Exactly, and from a vendor perspective too, like if decks in standard cost $1,000, that makes sense to help support it, right? But for whatever the reason, a lot of people are very excited about the rise of modern, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
I mean, I think we're definitely going to get to see sort of like one thing that's always sort of the question is like, is there like I feel like it's an open question whether or not like a modern meta sort of exists, if that makes sense, because it's so broad and diverse. But I think that SCG events, because they're running so many in a row and they're all in a relatively similar geographic area, you'll see people try to figure out sort of what beats what. And, maybe people will be able to go into these tournaments a little bit less blind as to like what's going to be in the field. Because I know when you sleeve up a modern deck for a big event, it's just like, sometimes you just have like 5 cards, 6 cards in your sideboard where you're like, well, I didn't play against this.
Yeah.
So, and maybe SCG won't develop a small enough meta where that will like be a possibility. But I do think that like having big events on a regular basis is something that I'm excited about as an enthusiast to see like, people developing new strategies and technology, but also just like, it keeps the format from completely falling out of visibility because Wizards has decided to cut most of the GP support for it.
Right. Well, off note as well, we are entering into so after this PP2 cycle, the following one is also going to be a modern PPTU.
So
cycle.
Happy.
So
when does this cycle end?
We just started about 2 weeks ago, so we're talking about 2.5 months. So like August-ish, yeah.
That's awesome.
So it will coincide nicely with the SCG circuit. You're gonna see a lot of modern being played, and it should be exciting. Hopefully people don't get bored of the format.
I think it's harder to get bored of modern, but I also I also don't play a lot of Magic, so that could be wrong.
So I mean, certainly there are some complaints you have on modern. It's much more diverse.
Yeah.
But compared to standard, the matchup, the diversity in the field creates a lot of issues with like the type of matchups you get, because it is so random that if you run into a string of bad matchups, you could not really play Magic. And, that has a much higher chance of happening in modern than there is in standard.
Absolutely.
There's a bunch of matchups where it's like you're not really playing Magic. If you're playing
Fish.
If you're playing against, for example, Tron, it certainly can be very frustrating at times where it's like, oh, I did nothing this game because they played turn 3 current. Conversely, if you're playing Tron and
your
you play
opponent
against
goes
Mono
like,
Burn, multiple Goblin guys is like, well, I didn't play Magic at all. So it can be very frustrating.
Yeah, I think that's something that is sort of endemic to the format.
Music. When is the next round? The next round should be starting in about 4 or 5 minutes ish. Looks like time was just called.
Yeah.
So we're waiting for the stragglers here.
I blame blue-white control players. Yeah. So the but I think that the fact that there's so much modern that's still going to be happening, the fact that SCG has basically said like, we're going to take over the modern space and no one can really No one's sort of preventing that. I wonder if Wizards will in any way change how many modern GPs they run. Like, I don't know if they will. Frankly, I think that they're like, very very frequent standard with a little bit of modern sprinkled in is what they're going to stick with.
You need to see. One thing you need to consider is just the incentive structure for all the participants, right?
Right.
Wizards doesn't make money from the secondary market. Right,
True.
Wizards is supported by new releases.
Yeah,
right?
people
So,
rip a pack.
So you have to support the standard format and limited formats because that's what your product is based on.
Right.
Whereas Star City Games, like, they don't care so much about that.
Star City Games makes better margins on modern singles than
right, and they just
want
to put on like the tournament series that people are interested in. Right.
Yeah.
If everyone is interested in standard, it makes sense for them to support it.
Right.
Ultimately, this is something we saw, I think, last year, where we saw a significant drop in the support for Legacy, but ultimately that's because there wasn't the community support for it.
Yeah, people were.
There was a very vocal minority, but at the end of the day,
those people that's the vocal minority is not what's going to fill out your bottom line.
Right, and there aren't nearly as many people who are interested in buying into Legacy.
Yeah, I think it's just like. I don't want to, personally, I don't want to spend, $250 for a dual land. That's sort of the, if you're playing, Underground Sea.
Sure.
I think that the buy-in on Modern is still, with, even though, so Modern Masters 3 happened, a lot of good reprints there, sort of dropped the prices of a lot of staples, and, they're starting to creep back up, but the point is, it feels much more reasonable to be okay, 4 Tarmogoyfs is a lot of money, but, they're Tarmogoyfs and there's 4 of them.
Sure.
Whereas, equivalently, you could get, 1.5 or whatever dual lands, and that just doesn't feel yes, dual lands are very powerful, but they're not, they're not exciting.
Right.
Right? They're not, you have to have them, but it's not ho, play my Underground Sea, this is rad.
I mean, at the end of the day, Legacy not only is the play very different, but just the community itself is also very different.
Yeah.
The nature of the very high barrier entry means that the people who are playing Legacy, you have a different demographic, and that can contribute to your experience as a Legacy player. Mm-hmm. But on that note, in a completely unrelated note, I'm going to go ahead and step outside and take a look at what the statuses are up to.
I am going to start resetting the overlay so that we don't have a completely messed up overlay when we come in for round 2. So just bear with me. If you've got decks that you guys want to see tonight in the chat, let us know. We'll do what we can to get them on camera. We do have 25, 26 people in the shop for Modern tonight, so there's a lot of things out there. We've seen, we did see a deck playing literally a bunch of Miracles cards game 1, so who knows? Left plane. And get this. And this one. Alright. So that looks good to go. Sure. Okay. Yep, so Dan should be back in a second. Theoretically, this round should be firing shortly. I don't know sort of what the... Living End Nintendo Champ. That's going to be hard. If it exists, we will try. I don't know if I've seen someone play Living End here for a very long time, though. I would like to see that on camera, especially because it got some new cyclers. Someone's going to have to remind me what the one that cycles for red is, but the one that cycles for black is Whore of the Broken Lands. Stephen Christ. I think we do have a Nightfall deck. We'll see what we can do about that. I think Dan's probably going to have unilateral call on this one, but we'll try to get it on for... Maybe get it on this round. See if Dan comes back with the pairings or not. Okay. So yeah, Whore of the Broken Lands is a new card from Mtgcard that is in Living End. Cycles for single black. Whenever you cycle or discard another card, Whore of the Broken Lands gets +2/+1 until end of turn. So yeah, this card, cycling for black, makes the deck a little bit more consistent. It lets you take out some of the cards that required other cards to cycle. Also, once you Living End, if you're not like, it provides a really fast clock. You have other cyclers in your hand. You just go cycle, cycle. Suddenly, this is attacking for 8. Desert. Hey Dan, what's we just got the pairings here. Okay. So can we get this one? We had this one. We had a request for his deck.
Which is
Nightfall.
okay.
Yeah. Desert Ceradon. There we go. Yeah. Oh, maybe. Gotta. Oh, Carodon. Okay. Huh. This one, yeah. This is another card that people have been saying will be good in Living End just because, again, cycling for single red. Also, it's a 6/4. Can only hit someone for 6 a certain number of times before they die. And this card seems pretty reasonable at that. None of the cool hybrid mana cost cycling like you have on like Monstrous Carabid and Deadshot. So it's a little less flexible on the mana, but 6 power is a pretty significant upgrade. Although personally, I don't really know a whole lot about Living End. Like, I've played it a little bit, like in just sort of like scrim games for fun. So if I'm saying incorrect things, please correct me. Yeah. So let's see, and then there's also this guy. Yeah. All right, so we're going to get players sitting down for this next match. On the left here, we're going to have Vincent Giacalone. And on the right, we're going to have Sean Sankara. All right. Both these players are 1-0. And this should be pretty good. So, Dan, do we know what Sean is playing? Because I'm pretty sure I know what Vincent is playing.
I actually have no idea what Sean is playing.
Okay. All right, so Vincent is going to be on Nightfall. Trying to make big Knight of the Reliquaries.
We have a Deadshot Minotaur on the screen.
We were talking about Living End.
Yes, it did get better.
Yes, with the new cyclers.
Yes, Desert Ceradon. Just bigger dudes.
Yeah, bigger dudes.
A little more difficult to cycle because of the red requirement, but you can just adjust the mana base accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, like if you play Blackleaf Cliffs, right? Like
yeah, well, Blackleaf Cliffs is already your best.
Your best land.
Your best land, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna see. So Vincent plays Nightfall. He thumped me pretty good with Nightfall on about a week ago on Saturday. He tutored up a Rogue's Passage and killed me with a big old Knight of the Reliquary. Card's really good when it's unblockable. Let me tell you what.
Yeah, dies the Fatal Push, though.
You gotta revolt that, dude. You can't even block and push it because it's unblockable. See? Rogue's Passage. It's a passage for rogues, which means that they can't be blocked. So I assume Sean is somewhere in the gap on the right.
He currently has on his Cloak of Invisibility.
Well, good to know. I guess he's got the invisibility on his cards too. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So this is the Nightfall deck can run sort of a little bit of a toolbox of lands.
And by a little bit, you mean very much so.
Well, I mean, you're going to play like a Rogue's Passage, Ghost Quarter, maybe 2 Ghost Quarters, and some stuff, but like I don't know how.
Probably a Kessig as well.
Oh yeah, probably a Kessig. So maybe like 5 or 6 utility lands. I don't know if Vincent is playing actual Retreat to Coralhelm in his deck. Just because that card has sort of been trimmed from these lists in increasing numbers as people realize, like, maybe you don't want this 3-mana enchantment and you just want, like, more spell Quellers.
I mean, the problem with the Retreat to Coralhelm is that it just had very low impact on its own.
Right. Knight on its own is great. Retreat on its own, not so great.
And if you have a Knight out and just doing this thing, like, you're probably going to win this game anyways, right? An unchecked Knight can get really out of hand quite quickly.
Yeah. Sean rolls a 9, Vincent rolls an 8. Just short there.
I think that actually might be it. Is it? Yeah, that is an 8.
It's an Ewit. Oh, is Sean might be playing an Abzan combo deck.
All right. Ooh, the pre-game handshake.
I don't hate the pregame handshake. My handshake meta is before and after, if they want it. But if they don't seem like they want to do the pregame one, it's just postgame.
Oh, okay. You offered a handshake, and if they don't take it, you just turned it into a thumbs up.
No, I sort of think if they've got a lot, if they're just like, if I can't see a good moment to go for the handshake, I just won't.
Oh, but that's poor handshake etiquette. You just
so there's like a Kasali Pride Mages, an Eternal Witness.
Oh, he might.
Collected
there's a company.
Okay,
so this is Absent Company. It might be the newer version.
Yeah. Vincent looking at something similar. Kasali Pride Mage as well. Some Birds of Paradise. I don't know if he has lands. Yeah, he's gonna shuffle that back. Go for 6.
But back to our important point. Handshake etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a firm camp of you just leave your hand out and like make it awkward until they shake your hand.
Before or after?
You know, whenever you decide that you want the handshake.
You know what? I am not. So like, if my opponent is like upset about the game of Magic we just played, I'm sometimes just like, I don't want to try to go for that because I have been like literally reprimanded by my opponents before for offering them a post-game handshake, and I'm just like, what is this? Like, okay, yeah. And I mean, this comes from a background of playing like a bunch of different competitive sports as a kid where you always shake after.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't in Magic. I don't know. I think you should always shake after. But I could be
agree.
wrong.
Even if it wasn't particularly close and you're not terribly happy about it.
Yeah. Okay.
I see Vincent. Is that a?
It's a Misty. It looked like an Eldrazi.
Yeah, it looked like an Eldrazi temple. Yeah.
I had to tank for a second too on that.
Actually, I'll be honest. It first looked like an Urborg. I was like,
I don't think Vincent's gonna play an Urborg. I think it's just a Misty. Vincent will draw here. He's got a Knight. He's got a Bird. He's got a Path. Might be a. I don't even know what else.
Always turn 1 birds when you can.
Yeah.
Right?
So we'll go for a Bird here. I'm imagining this is gonna be a shock.
If you're not going to play the turn 1 birds, why is birds in your deck? Right.
Yeah. To cascade into.
That value? You get a flyer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you cascaded into pseudo land.
Yeah, dude. When you need that mana.
Mm-hmm.
They're both gonna fetch Temple Gardens. Sean's from original Ravnica block, and Vincent's from Return. Temple Garden, good land. What is Temple Garden the least played shock in Modern right now?
Oh, not.
Wait, which one? Close. Which one's the least played then?
Probably Breeding Pool.
Oh, you're right. It's Breeding Pool, not close.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, okay. So this is spicy. That is a Zulaport Cutthroat.
Okay, so
Sean's playing the spice.
Sean could be playing Rally.
What now?
Yeah, because you have with Blood Arts and Zulaport Cutthroat. It's really good when you have a sack outlet and you rally back a bunch of nonsense.
Mm-hmm. So that is just a regular forest there. That one looks a lot like Dryad Arbor, so I had to think about it for a second, but we're fine. Knight of the Reliquary is in play. It's a 3/3. Sean will sacrifice a fetch land. Mm-hmm. So this is... I'm going to put him on some sort of Aristocrats. Also, let it be known that Aristocrats decks are sometimes very challenging to use on the stream set, or to follow on the stream setup, because when he drains and gains, it's just like you got to change 2 numbers. It's like...
Nah.
Let's see what you got here. Kitchen Finks. Okay, yeah. I see it. Zulaport Cutthroat providing a 4th combo piece so you can kill your opponent with Kitchen Finks and a Fenza Viscera Seer interaction.
Sure, so you get... Yeah. But, like, if that was the only reason you had it in your deck, I don't think it's good enough.
Yeah.
It's almost certainly Sean is playing something a little more...
And he's back up to 20 because he's double fetched, but then he thinks. Okay.
Yeah. It's almost certainly Sean's playing something a little bit more unfair.
I think he's probably playing the combo.
Right. Yeah, Sean certainly has the normal combo in hand, in his deck if he's playing the Kitchen Finks, but ooh, Lotus Cobra.
What's happening?
I mean, Lotus Cobra represents so much potential mana.
Makes one with the Gavany Township. Does let you filter that. Oh, and that's a Scooze. Okay.
All right.
Pretty good. And he still has a mana up if he wants to Path here. Just Path the Finks and hit with the Knight, right?
Yes, you could do that.
I kind of like that.
I don't hate that. It also feels a little bit wasteful because you can grow the Knight this turn and then just eat the Finks later.
Sure, yeah. Oh, I mean, I guess if you tap and sacrifice, like, the forest, get another land.
Because we're quickly going to get to the point where the knight is going to outclass
Everything Sean
because
plays.
if you sack the forest, get a fetch and fetch, all of a sudden your knight is already 6/6.
Sure. Sean will play a marsh flat, so he does have double white if he wants to play the Anafenza.
He also has Collected Company.
Collected Company pretty good here. Against Vincent's deck, I actually consider this at sorcery speed because Spell Queller is so backbreaking.
Yeah, although I've seen nothing that would indicate to me that Vincent is on a banned version of this deck.
He literally had a Spell Queller in one of his openers that he
Well,
against.
from Sean's perspective.
Oh, from Sean's, yeah. I mean, okay, so sort of a little bit of, like, outside. Oh, what is happening now? Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is worth noting.
We're going to make a bunch of mana end step.
It's 1,000,000 mana. Vincent can Coco right now.
Yo, that's so cool, actually. Oh my god, I love this deck.
Activate a Knight of the Reliquary made 3 mana.
Dude, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
Oh, he is. He has a Coco in hand.
Alright. Yeah, so, sorry, so back to the little bit of, like, out of... Okay, so Sean here, I think, is going to Coco in response. I would Coco in response, not close.
But it's interesting. You might want... If you have things like Fiend Hunter, you want them to Coco first.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair, that's fair. There's, like, a... So, like, if Sean... Like, Sean is a regular on Wednesdays, and so is Vincent. So I think Sean should know that Vincent has Coco, or is playing a band deck. Like... These two have played before on camera, even.
Yeah.
So, let's see. We've got another knight. Okay, that's pretty good.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Okay, so, like...
Now you're kind of priced into Cocoing.
I think you have to... So,
Well,
wait, but now you make a voice token.
No, it's still Sean's turn. This is still Sean's turn.
What? Oh, this is all Sean's end step?
Yes.
Oh, man. So the knight is a 5/5 now, right?
Yes, with the potential to get much larger.
Somewhat larger.
Well, don't forget, if Vincent, uses one of these knights to, sack a land, get a fetch, that in and of itself represents 3 mana.
But also 2 power.
Also 2 power, and he can use that mana to activate a Galvaning Township.
This is out of control. Man, this Lotus Cobra is insane, actually.
And I mean, that's
against a matchup like Aristocrats where it's unlikely to be interacted with. Although I would be amused if Sean just Coco's into the combo here.
There's a Viscerous here.
Please.
There's a Fiend Hunter.
Last card? Okay.
No,
I mean, but you can get, like, Finks Seer, right? If he has an Anafenza, I think he might have an Anafenza in hand, actually.
I mean, another card Sean hit was Fiend Hunter. So you can permanently exile one of these cards if you want to.
There's just so many of them. I feel like you just... Okay, so if Sean has an Anafenza in hand, he wins the game.
If he gets to untap here.
I think he'll get to untap. He's getting the Fiend Hunter.
Mm-hmm. Fiend Hunter and...
Yeah, and he needs to... He has to Fiend Hunter this. Okay, so now... But I think if Vincent, I believe, has last card Path.
Yeah. So one thing that Sean might consider doing is sacking the Fiend Hunter in response to the trigger to permanently exile.
Yeah, I actually like that, because otherwise it can come back. He does have the Anafenza in hand, so if Vincent doesn't, like...
I mean, I guess you lose to removal anyways, so there's no point. Right, because if Vincent has a path, he can interact with this in any way.
That's fair. Yeah, he's going to path, so he'll path something no matter what. Okay, so the knights are 6/6s. That's a plains. Vincent down to 13.
I mean, this is a very large crack.
I mean, it is a pretty big hit. The knights are the knights are 6/6, and the voice is a 2/2.
So here's the problem. Vincent has mana floating, 2 mana floating. He activates Township here, and now he's attacking with lethal.
Right, so you have to block somewhere.
Yeah. So I mean, certainly you block with the
cutthroat block and hope that's enough.
Well, it will be enough, right? Because
no, you're right. He's still dead.
No, that will be enough.
A cutthroat block, I don't think is enough.
Cutthroat on Knight, nothing has trample. Remember?
Oh, sure. Yeah, there's no Kessig.
Yeah,
which would be kind of crazy.
We're looking at...
It's a lot of power.
3, 6, 7 plus, like...
14.
Yeah, so it's a lot, but it's not lethal.
I think actually he's gonna have to double block,
No, I
or
mean,
he'll have to block more than one thing.
no, he only have to block one.
Really?
Yeah, so 6 power from the Lotus Cobra and the Voice,
7 from the bird.
7 from Burst, and 1 Knight of Reliquary, which
That
is
is-
not 10.
It does. Oh wait, Sean's at 17. Sorry, I'm looking at Vincent's life total. Yeah, this
Right.
is fine. Okay, so if he blocks here, untaps, plays Anafenza, gets Path, still loses the game, but like it was close.
Yeah, well,
I think Vincent is actually thinking about pathing here, and I don't know how I feel about that.
No, I mean, you're so far ahead. There's no iteration of this where you have lethal, right? Like, Sean can always block with a Viscerous here if he needs to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Man, Lotus Cobra though has made like 6, 7 mana this game. And
Oh,
it's
yeah,
been
for sure.
nuts. Like
Well-
just so explosive.
Well, when Lotus Cobra is insane, it's truly insane. When it's embarrassing, it's pretty embarrassing.
Sure. Send forth the team. Okay.
Ooh, this is a very interesting line that Vincent took. Because he can activate Knight.
For
To,
Kessig.
for Kessig, or he can activate it for another Coco.
Oh, if his last card is Coco.
He has a. Oh, no, he might have been looking at his graveyard.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like the Kitchen Finks are gonna block here.
I'm very surprised by this. This means that Sean.
He's getting hit for 10.
Oh, if Sean has an offensive though.
Okay, so
he has a second creature.
he'll
he
go
can
up
both
to
the trade.
19. Then he'll go up to 20 from the Zulaport. Then he'll take the damage from everything, right?
And Vincent is showing a path to exile.
I don't know what he's casting it on though.
The Kitchen Finks. I wonder if this is before blocks.
Wait, where did the Finks go? Oh, I think it's in response to the Persist.
So then.
Oh, wait, this is Persist on the stack. He's gonna eat it with the Scoos, so Sean's not gonna go to 18. Or he's not gonna go up
Yeah.
to.
So this is a very good line that Vincent took.
Because the
you
Scoos
lost
come
it.
back and then he can use the bird to eat it.
Right.
I think Sean considering sacking the Fiend Hunter instead of letting it get pathed in order to gain a little bit of life and scry. So Vincent's going to be at 12 and Sean's going to be at 18 because of the block.
But one thing that this does do is it taps Vincent out. So if Sean hits a Coco, you do now lose the game.
Yes.
Well, if Sean has a good Coco, you lose the game.
Sure. I mean, yeah, but whatever. So, okay, yeah, so the Fiend Hunter's going to get pat, the Scoos is going to come back, you're going to eat the Finks with Persist on the stack. Then so the Lotus Cobra dies, they go 19-11. And
No, and Sean took a ton of damage here.
okay, but yeah, so I haven't gotten all the way there with the damage yet because they're still figuring it out, but it's gonna be 10.
Yeah, it looks like Sean's taking about 10 here.
So we'll put him at 9. Okay. And then we'll see what happens here. So I think he's still thinking if he drains here, he can put them both to 10. Like if he sacks I think like there's no point in not sacking the Fiend Hunter, right?
I mean, if you want the extra land might give you more outs to if you like, depending on what your hand is.
Sure.
Because you really need to hit at this point, you're missing 2 combo pieces. You have 1 in hand, but you don't have the mana to cast a Finks as well.
Right.
So you might want to let this path resolve so you get your 5th mana source. So you can like put yourself in position to top deck a Finks.
That's fair.
Uh,
Still in a rough spot though.
Certainly a rough spot. I'm very surprised that Sean blocked with the Kitchen Finks because now you're like really pricing yourself to.
Yeah, I
be in
mean
a bad way.
if you block with like the so the thing is though is he couldn't have baited like if he doesn't block with the Finks, I don't think that there's a path. I don't think that Vincent paths the Fiend Hunter.
Right.
Wait, and then you just lose to the.
I mean, I think Sean has another Coco in hand. So we're pretty much in the YOLO Coco range here.
So we'll go up to 12 here for Vincent. I don't know if the life totals are right. but they're close.
Yeah, Sean's gonna be dead next turn.
Barring the combo right here.
Yeah, barring the combo right here, and if
The combo right here does instant win the game though because he does have a cutthroat still.
Right. Instead of having to scry a red cap to the top, or scry a win con to the top.
Yeah, I mean infinite life is still enough. Nightfall doesn't have any infinite damage, but like, all right. So draw step. What did we find? I guess. Oh yeah. So I guess with the 5th land, if he has Anafenza Finks.
Oh, actually, the combo's not even good here. Let's not forget. Even though Vincent's tapped out, he has a lot of mana available.
Oh, because he can act. Well, he just has 1.
No, he has a Lotus.
No,
Cobra
the Lotus
and
Cobra got blocked.
Oh,
the Lotus
right.
Cobra's
He has
dead.
1. He has 1 mana available.
Oh,
so the
that's
combo's
so
not even
tricky.
good.
That okay. So Sean just dead then.
Sean is dead.
Yeah, unmovable figured out in the chat too. Yeah. The Knight activate for. So yeah, he'll go for the Coco.
Mm-hmm. So long as Vincent sees the line that he can't activate Knight to get a green source.
Oh, this looks like it might miss though.
Oh, it looks like Sean
single
just
hierarch.
Yeah, okay.
Variance.
And it looks like Vincent's breathing a sigh of relief, but
yeah, he's fine. No worries. Pass a turn back from Sean. I feel like Sean is just ultra dead, right?
Super dead. Sean is representing a Path to Exile, but I think we probably have lethal through Path to Exile.
Yeah, something like that.
Without the Lotus Cobra, we can't do degenerate things anymore. But even so, like we just turn all these creatures sideways. Like
you can township. No, you can't. You need another land.
I mean, you can just leave the birds back.
Sure.
How are you? You have 2 threats that are like lethal on their own.
Yeah, that's
the Scavenger Ooze is going to be very difficult to beat. And this is going to go get a land.
Sure.
Just to grow them a little more.
Grow the Knights, dude. Double Knight is like it's like with Death Shadow. 1 Knight is good, but double Knight is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Vincent's gonna get a fetch, and get a Howl of Fountain. So putting 2 lands in the graveyard.
Yeah, he'll go to 11, but like, I don't think he's worried about getting drained out. So, I mean, I wouldn't be either. So untap here. The Knights are like 8/8s now. So like, yeah. I mean, if Sean throws his whole board away, I think he can live. So, but I don't think that's gonna. I don't think that he's gonna win that way.
Right. Ooh, Vincent's going to. This is one thing. If he does this, I'm going to be.
What's he doing?
Oh, he's searching up another land.
Sure.
I wonder what this is for.
Probably Rogue's Passage.
Okay. Sure. So this is going to go all in. Vince is not going to play around the path, and it looks like Sean doesn't have the path.
Yeah, it's fine.
Vincent has the option of going a little bit wider.
Mm-hmm.
He might not have the Kessig because we didn't see any red cards.
It might just be a strict ban. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Rogue's Passage. Here's an enormous unblockable threat. Can you beat this?
And probably pretty removal light over there for Sean.
If Sean didn't have if Vincent didn't have a Scavenging Ooze, Sean could have
stolen the game.
Could have sacked a couple creatures, and I think he gained just enough life to stay alive.
Sure.
But then there's just no way we combo kill.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this almost might come down to not permanently exiling the Skoos with the Fiend Hunter.
Yeah. I mean, Vincent, with the Path to Exile, I don't know if Sean actually had a way to win that game, especially with how bad his second Coco was.
Sure. But I do think that not having the Skoos online, like, would have made it more winnable if the second Coco would have been
right. It certainly gave him, I think, better outs. It's something that doesn't come up very often, but you do occasionally have the opportunity to permanently exile something, and
sometimes you take it. The same thing with Tide Hollow Sculler as well.
This is again all the cards with the O trigger, where the ETB and the Leave the Battlefield are two separate lines.
Yes.
The errata cards, well, not the errata cards.
The new templating. The new templating.
I forget what the new version of
Warden.
Yeah. They kind of eliminated all of these shenanigans.
Banishing Light.
So much
Rather
less
than-
fun.
Hey man, Oblivion Ring on an empty battlefield.
Yeah, they kind of tried to fix it with Detention Sphere, where you can't hit other Detention Spheres.
That's pretty good. Well, I mean, that would be so degenerate, though, because you're just, like, exile your Detention Sphere. Like, there's multiple Detention Spheres in play, and you exile
It gets
all of them.
Yep.
And then everything comes back? Like, gross. I do love, like, I mean, Detention Sphere's interaction with tokens, though, pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
And your opponent's like, great, I am the Lingering Souls Lord. And you're like, cool, I care not for your Lingering Souls. Get them.
I mean, as usual, like, if they have removal for the one you target, it's not great, but, you know,
Hey
still
man,
fine.
I didn't play Detention Sphere because I did play because I was afraid, actually. That's fair.
But yeah, so interesting match here. I think
Oops, I
MVP
put
of the first game was
Lotus Cobra?
certainly Lotus Cobra.
Yeah, it's actually one of Vincent, not one of Sean. Yeah, I mean, Lotus Cobra made so much mana, and I think it's in a perfect place against an Aristocrats deck because they don't have removal for it. Like, I would not play Lotus Cobra against, like, a Bolt deck, because then it's just, like, it got bolted. Like, goodbye, friend.
Also, I mean, this is perfect for... Lotus Cobra's perfect in a deck that has creatures that search up lands. Like,
Yeah.
you get so many more
So
triggers
much
with this.
mana. Yeah, when you knight for a land, you just like make more mana. Do you just play some Eldrazi Titans? It's fine. Yeah, so we'll go to game 2 here. Sean will be on the play. I do think that Sean has like the ability to sort of steal the game with a combo if Vincent doesn't have interaction. So like because the things that like Vincent is also playing a deck that is not known for having a heavy removal suite.
Yeah, I mean, so the decks that what Sean is playing, the Abs and Company decks, there's a lot of nuance to it. The Fiend Hunter line, for example, picking when you can Coco. You know, there are games where you just instantly win the game, and you know those are fine. But there is a lot of play.
Obviously sometimes you play a birds and you just win the game on turn 3 because they can't beat it. But I feel like the combo being 3 pieces and all is not like obviously the deck is designed to make it consistent, but it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that you'll see all 3 pieces. Sometimes you just Coco and you hit single Hierarch and it's a whiff.
Right.
Like,
you actually have to be very careful post-board, too. It's very easy to overboard here, and all of a sudden, your creature count's low enough that, like...
Your Cocos are atrocious?
Yeah. I mean, the goal is, like, when you Coco, you want to Coco and have options. It's not just,
It's not just like, oh, I hit 2 creatures, thank goodness.
Right.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. How many Coco hits? How many Coco creatures you need to play? Like 28-ish, but like then you have dorks, so it's like to hit 2 counting dorks, you need like what 26, 28, something like that.
Right. So, you know, at least over standard, like you have less. You can run a lower land count.
Sure.
So you get more flex room to like actually put spells, but like you know, ban Coco in standard, like you play
30.
like 4 spells in the deck.
Forge Ramoka's command. No, 8 spells.
Forge
Forge Ramoka's command.
Yeah, it's just like you didn't really have room for much else.
Yeah, 20, 24, 25 lands.
Sometimes like a YOLO Ojutai's command or 2. But
Sure,
like,
but then like 28 creatures.
yeah. Here at least you have a little bit of flex room. You can play other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there may be like Abrupt Decays in post-board. I don't know. It kills the Knight. Like, Knight is just so good.
Yeah.
Although Abrupt Decay does lose really hard to Spell Queller.
It's fine, right?
If you don't have the second piece of removal, Spell Queller is amazing.
Yes, but the beautiful thing about Spell Queller is that when multiple things are Spell Quellered, things can get horribly wrong when one thing
I think
dies.
Sean might have a Worship in his deck. Oh, I was right.
Ooh, the Worship is really
I mean, I
saucy.
actually think the Worship is good here. I don't think Vincent has the ability to kill all his creatures.
Yeah, I mean, so Vincent, like one thing you almost never do in these matchups is boarding out a Quasali Pride Mage.
Oh, sure.
You almost always will have.
Ooh, that is a Duskwatch Recruiter.
Yeah.
Let's... Oh, wait, this is playing the Vizier combo.
Yeah, so I guess this is the newer version of this deck.
Okay. So
Yeah. Playing the Duskwatch certainly kind of the jig is up.
yeah, there's only one thing that this is: Vizier combo aristocrats. To the chat, ups my dudes. What is the jankiest we've seen today? There was a Jeskai Miracles deck, so like, I like quite literally playing like Bonfire of the Damned and Entreat the Angels. So like, Vizier combo might be a little off the wall, but like,
I think this slots in pretty well. With...
It slots in well. It's just like Vizier combo plus the Abzan company package plus like, you know, so like there's a lot of things going on there. And so like, you want to make sure that you don't sort of dilute your focus with all these cool combos. That does mean, though, that, like, you know, arbitrarily large walking ballista might be on the menu in the future.
Yeah. You know, one thing that can happen is that when you try to jam too many of these combos, like, don't forget, like, a lot of these combo pieces are not exciting as a creature in itself, right? Kitchen Finks is fine. But Vicious Seer, not the most exciting. Malura and Enifenza, like, can be passable.
The Lotus Cobra returns for part 2. Vincent, so Sean's will
gonna
attack
offer the
with
trade.
I mean, I think you absolutely are happy if this trades, but Vincent's like, don't care.
Yeah, Vincent's having none of it. One thing that Lotus Cobra does die to...
Second Duskwatch comes down.
That Sean probably has access to is Orzhov Pontiff.
Oh my god, Dan. What is it with that card?
It's quite good. It's very good.
Okay.
That's all you need to know.
We'll pull it up. Hey, guys, if you ever meet Dan in person, you can talk about Orzhov Pontiff. Literally just always Orzhov Pontiff with this guy.
Orzhov Pontiff, very good. Lotus Cobra, unanswered. Also very good. Vincent's going to have 5 mana on turn 3.
Yes, that is a lot of mana.
There's many manas.
He can, like, probably cast a Collected Company.
And leave a, path or something. But Vincent's actually getting double forest, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, this deck has a lot of hard mana requirements.
Vincent's...
This does, like, for example, this doesn't cast Spell Queller. It does cast Night, though.
Well, he might have Spell Queller mana floating, but,
Okay.
that's neither here nor there.
That's correct. We'll play a Night.
Okay, what mana floating? You
We'll
got
play
a path.
Target a Duskwatch.
I'm not much of a fan of this line. This is going to accelerate Sean.
Yeah, I agree. Ooh, but we're getting the beats in with the Lotus Cobra. It does have 2 powers, so, like, beats.
This is going to accelerate Sean. The Path to Exiles have a lot of value in this deck, especially since there's so many key pieces you need to hit. And because Sean has 2 out, you're not really cutting him off from anything.
Right, it's not like, oh, I killed all his Duskwatch recruiters. Great. Also, interestingly with the Vizier combo, it is actually not good for you if the recruiter flips, because you want to use its ability when you have infinite mana. So, like... Also, yeah, I feel like Vincent might regret that Path to Exile when, like, we get Vizier into Devoted Druid, and, yeah.
Right. Presumably Vincent has a second path?
I mean, I don't know if that's a presumably. Maybe if he's shooting him off as freely as that,
Vincent was so cavalier with the first one that, it makes me think that it has to be a second one.
Yeah. Hang on. Okay, so we'll see what Sean wants to do here. He can play Vizier of Remedies. He could also try to cast Worship. Got some options.
Worship a little less exciting with only 1 creature on board. Worship is definitely a card that I would play once, like, I'm in desperate straits, or if the board is super stabilized. And it's Niter. We're in Niter here.
Okay. We're chilling.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious, what is the delay here?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a conversation being had. I think Sean is just going to hold up mana. I would probably Coco Sorcery Speed, because Spell Queller is... he doesn't have Spell Queller mana, I guess, but, like, Spell Queller does just, like, wreck you if you can't remove it.
Yeah, but, Sean's deck has, a fair bit of removal. Especially with the Fiend Hunter, we can also...
So, okay, what in tarnation is that?
It is 1 mana.
Chat?
Is that the Bear Punch? Is that just fight?
Is that what card is this?
You're having a little bit of difficulty identifying what card this is.
It's a Knight of the Reliquary.
No, not that one. The single green. It's under his hand. You can't see it right now. Okay, so here's an attack. Ulvenwald Tracker says Chad.
Ulvenwald Tracker.
Oh, Chad is so good at this. So attack with the knight. How big is the knight? The knight is like there's 2 fetch lands gone.
This is the Bear Punch card. Oh no, it is not the Bear Punch cards. There are multiple Bear Punch cards. This is not it.
No, this one, dude. Ulvenwald is not from Khans of Tarkir.
No.
Ulvenwald is the Ulvenwald is an Innistrad block thing.
Yeah. Well, also Modern Masters.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like there was a miss of the flip trigger. Knight's going to attack. This is for 4, yes?
No. I believe yes for 4. Sean's gonna Coco in response.
I mean, has the Devoted Druid... Oh, wow.
Has the Pontiff.
Pontiff? Can you get Pontiff Devoted Druid and then untap and, like...
Pontiff kills 2 things right now.
It does.
Devoted
Pontiff. Oh, my God. Okay, you know what? I'm just... Congratulations, Dan. I hope you're happy.
I'm quite happy.
Also going to make the Knight a little bit smaller.
Yes, the Knight of Reliquary going to be a 3/3 instead.
He could block it with the Krallen Horde Hauler. Oh, so that's going to get path. No. You can't do that. You have to path the... Oh. I'm not sure that was right at all, actually.
Yeah.
Like, the Devoted Druid is a problem. Like, losing your Knight in the trade here, like, I don't know. Might be worth... we'll put Sean to 15. Second Knight. Especially if you have a second Knight, I'm totally willing to trade there.
It looks like Vincent might need to have to pay for the Path to Exile as well.
Yeah, you should go fix that problem. Unless he did it with the Lotus Cobra? No, there wasn't. Yeah, it was during combat. Yeah, go fast. Sean will untap here. We'll see what he's got. Draw step. He does have the combo. He can make infinite mana. The question is, does he have something to do with that? And I don't know if the answer is yes. That's the biggest problem, is you need the third piece. Okay, so yeah, Vince is going to tap the land to pay for the path. Great. Okay, let's see here. Crack the fetch land. So like, yeah, so as I was saying, so Dan's back now, after correcting that. So, yeah, crack the fetch. All right. As I was saying while you were gone, okay, so you're going to shock 2 down to 12. Sean has infinite mana, but I don't think he has anything to do with it. The loss of both Duskwatches is not going to go well.
Yeah, but I mean...
He can play double Vizier of Remedies.
Which does mean that, like...
He can play his whole hand. Well, he has infinite green mana.
I mean,
yeah.
Worship is great.
And say go. I don't know what's left in his hand. At least one other Vizier.
Yeah, so like I said, like Vincent was very cavalier with the Path to Exiles, and I think the Dustwatch scared him.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's going to be in rough shape. He really needs to find a Quasali Pride Mage if he's going to
win the game.
Win the game.
Sure. Tireless Tracker, very fair. Also, probably not great again. Okay, so we're gonna get a sacrificing of a forest here.
So yeah,
this will make a clue.
This will make probably 2 clues.
Oh, if he gets a fetch,
if
sure.
he gets a fetch, which is kind of cute.
Yeah. So I don't think Vince is dead yet. Unmovable. This is the thing. Is like he doesn't. Okay, as soon as Sean draws a cord, or Sean draws a.
So the thing is, I'm not sure what we even cord for.
You cord for another Duskwatch.
Are you playing 3?
Sure.
Because that seems like a lot.
Or you cord for E-Wait, get back company, cast it. You have literal infinite mana.
That's true. Well, not you have infinite green mana.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine, man.
You know, it's...
You can, like... Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff.
You're right. For example, Sean currently can't activate Gavin Township, which is a little bit awkward.
Why?
Doesn't have the white.
He has a Temple Garden and a Plains.
Is it an Overrun too?
No, it's a Temple Garden.
Okay.
It's tapped. It's tapped. It's Plains Temple Garden.
Well, currently, that's what I meant. Like end of turn, he can't activate.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, he doesn't have the white to activate end of turn. Like, he's not going to grow his board bigger anytime soon. But, like...
Yeah, because if Vincent can't answer this worship, eventually Sean just like, okay, my board is just bigger than yours.
Yeah. But Vincent's going to say go, pass it back. The knights should be 6/6s now, I think.
Yeah.
Sean draws a company. Just get it. You just do this for free because you have infinite green mana.
Yeah.
Great.
It's like we have Omniscience out. There's Cord, Land, Ewit.
Ewit for company is fine.
Ewit, Kitchen Finks. Okay, that's not terrible. All right, we're going to gain 2 life.
We're going to get to cast another company.
Yep. And we know we have 4 misses on the bottom. We're going to do it again.
Infinite mana is really good.
All right. Bunch of lands.
Single Noble
Hierarch. Okay. So if I was Sean, I would definitely not crack a fetch, like, ever.
Yeah, because you know that there are, like, 11 misses on the bottom.
Yeah.
Tap some mana. Like, we need a Viscera Seer or something, right? Like...
Yeah, and if I was Vincent, I would...
Or not a Viscera Seer. Viscera Seer doesn't matter. We need to draw Cord.
Yes. And if I was Vincent, I would be very much interested in hitting Sean down to 1.
Yeah.
Just so the moment we have an answer for this worship, we can kill you.
I agree. We're going to activate the Knight again. Knight's going to 7/7s here. Path to Exile in response, targeting the Tireless Tracker. I don't hate it. It's gonna draw like that. If you're worried about Kasali Pride, like you can't like Knight of the Reliquary for Kasali Pride Mage. You could draw into it with a bunch of clues though.
Right, but I very much like this play. You're gonna eventually have to answer this Tireless Tracker, or it's just gonna accrue too much value. Yeah. Vincent can pretty much draw his entire deck with the Knight of the Reliquaries and Tireless Tracker.
Yeah, you can draw a lot of cards. You can draw into more Cocos.
Yeah. One thing that Sean really should start doing too is
activating Township.
Activate Township and start chipping in a couple of turns.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it looks like Vincent is going to crack one of the clues to draw a card, and then he'll untap. Like, I don't know. Sean just feels like he's gonna win. It feels like Sean's gonna win this game. He just like needs to find the one like.
Yeah.
If he natural draws Walking Ballista, he wins.
Yes.
Can't even queller that because it'll be like a million on the stack.
Yeah. The CMC, still 2x. So if X is very large.
Yeah. Also notably, Walking Ballista for arbitrarily large does win against a worship because you just gun all their creatures down and then you gun them down.
Yes. Saw
that last week.
Yes, we did. Well, we didn't quite see it.
We suggested it last week.
Yeah. But because this deck is new, there's no guarantee Sean has a Walking Ballista in his
board. I guarantee he has a Walking Ballista in his 75.
It is very likely that he does.
I will put an unreasonable amount of confidence on that idea. Yeah. So.
So one concern both players should have is that they're running low on time.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is they're gonna time out. Scavenging Ooze.
So Scavenging Ooze is a good draw. We're not gonna have this Ewit shenanigans anymore. But
it doesn't matter. He's got a worship and you don't have the Pride Mage.
Yeah, Vincent has to draw. It's unlikely he boarded in a Rex Sage, so he's really looking for his 1, maybe 2 of Kasali Pride Mage.
Yeah, the chat is suggesting that Sean get a Thrun into play and literally never lose the game.
I think Sean has actually gone through Vince has definitely gone through a lot more of his deck because of
the knights and the searching.
Yeah, so Vincent.
I think Sean is holding dice like he's about to activate Township.
Yeah.
Getting the number of dice ready for 1, 2, 3, 7 creatures on board.
Yeah. If I was Vincent, I would certainly I would pick up the pace of what I do here.
If you're Vincent, you're under no pressure to.
Well, it's very likely you're going to lose.
It's very likely you're going to lose this one, and Sean's going to. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so we'll get some counters on some creatures. Yeah. So sorry, 6 creatures are going to get counters.
But the big thing here is also Vincent isn't attacking, and I think you have to.
You have to be attacking.
You have to get Sean to 1. So when you
Finks the draw. Don't know if you can play it for free.
Yeah. I think at this point I hold on to all my creatures.
Don't tap mana to play the Finks. Just play the Finks, right?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm. It's fine. Yeah, so Sean's a couple turns away from starting an attack. I'm a little concerned about playing all these creatures because Vincent could have boarded into like a Supreme Verdict or something.
I would
It's
put an
unlikely.
extremely high amount of confidence on this deck not having Supreme Verdict.
Right, but there's just no reason to play it.
Could you imagine though if he did? Oh my goodness!
Right.
Be the best Supreme Verdict ever.
Yeah, I mean, Sean would still get back a couple Kitchen Finks, with an active Gavney, so it wouldn't be absurd.
Yeah, sure.
But, no reason into... Okay, it's just like, what are we even doing anymore? Yeah.
What is Magic the Gathering?
Okay, so they're going to have not much time for Game 3, but it should be enough for a game.
Yeah, 10 minutes is enough. I think Vincent's definitely like, give me the Rex Sage.
Yeah, the Worship certainly might have caught Vincent off guard. If he boarded out the Crusala Pride Mage.
Like, you don't have outs to the Worship.
Yeah. I mean... You might want to play it for a couple turns in case Sean just doesn't draw creatures and you draw Monopath.
Sure. But once he has 6 creatures on board...
Yeah, if you board out the Pride Mage, you just scoop it up because we're just wasting time here.
Yeah. Alright, we'll go to 1-1 on the board here. Game count. Get ourselves into a third match here. Or a third game in this match.
Yes, sir.
Should be good. What is... Someone mentioned this card in the chat. Shield of the Oversoul. Oh, okay. So you put this on a throne, and then you win for real. How do you? I mean, you Lily Edict it, right? Maybe you should put this on a Sigarda.
Yes, can't lose.
Like it makes it into a 7/7 hex-proof, indestructible, edict-proof flyer. Like, you
good.
literally have to planar cleansing.
Well, you can crack 2 O-Stones.
Sure. Yeah, you can also, like, decay this.
Yeah.
And
You do have to get rid of this first.
Yeah. Man, Sigarda Host of Herons is a card. It is hard to win against a resolved Sigarda Host of Herons.
People forget that's a card a lot.
All is Dust, also good. Wait, no.
All is Dust is
all
not
is Dust
good.
reverse good.
All is Dust reads sacrifice all the non-colorless things.
Yeah. This is not what you want. You're... Yeah, like, literally Sigarda is actually, like, perfect counter to all his dice.
Correct.
LOL.
Okay, yeah, but...
I don't think either of these players has Sigarda. If someone did, though, it would be Vincent. You have a Lotus Cobra. Turn 3 Sigarda?
Yeah, I mean, if I was Vincent, and I had sideboard space, certainly Sigarda is not bad.
I wonder how many Lotus Cobra Vincent is actually playing. Because we've seen it both games, but, like, you've got to wonder if he's just, like, gotten lucky and drawn it, or if he's, like, really, like, in on this Lotus Cobra plan.
So it doesn't make much sense to have, like, 1 or 2, but, like, if you have 4, that's a lot.
So many. But if you go Lotus Cobra, you literally make so much mana.
Yes, like a fetch land represents 5 mana, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, you just, like, play a Knight, and then the next turn you play Ulamog.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Chat is coming up with ways to make the most obnoxious board states. Playing against the heavy Pillow Fort enchantment decks, like in the Enduring Ideal decks, is like, let me Ghostly Prison you. Great. Let me Greater Oromancy. Okay. As soon as someone plays the card Greater Oromancy, you know that the degeneracy is happening.
Yeah. Looks like Sean has a couple mana dorks, some lands.
I think he has some lands and a Coco.
Yeah. This looks like a very fine keep from him. Vincent's looking at a lot of lands, but I believe he does have a Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, and he'll start with the Overworld Tracker.
All right.
The templating on the new Merciless Eviction also so much cleaner than the last one.
Looks really cool.
Yeah, the original Merciless Eviction, just a wall of text.
Both players, again, dueling Temple Gardens. So we'll pull up Ovenwald Tracker again.
Yeah, so certainly an interesting card.
I mean, it's really good in these mirrors because it's repeatable removal if they don't kill it.
Right. Keep in mind also that next turn, Vincent has a line of just activate Ovenwald Tracker on itself. And
He's just
fight your Noble Hierarch.
He's just going to fight it now.
Yeah, this is absolutely free. And there's...
It's like, wow, really good.
Yeah. So actually, honestly, if I was Sean,
Might not have played the hierarch.
Well, the thing is, like, if you do play the hierarch, you force Vincent to like take his turn off and do this.
Yeah, I just don't know what else he was doing with his turn. Sean will crack a fetch.
Yeah, on 2 mana, there's not a whole lot Vincent could do. But, like, you know, maybe he could have played the Lotus Cobra instead. So, like...
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, maybe you have to just throw the Hierarch into the meat grinder.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Sean going to go to 14 for the second Shockland here.
Yeah, one weakness of both decks is they're really light on removal. Which means that, you know, all of these Haymaker threats, they can get a lot of work done.
Yeah, so Duskwatch Recruiter the play for Sean. We'll see what Vincent has going back over to him. I assume he'll... Oh, so he just passes here. I don't know if he has the... Oh, so he's... Okay, so he's passing to force the flip.
But the forcing the flip is quite good. An early flip, this is a discount on all your creatures.
Yeah, but I don't know how many generic mana costs this deck is playing. There's a lot of pips, as it were.
Right. So, like, Sean could, like, play Kitchen Finks for 2 instead of 3.
Yeah, I just don't know if that's, like... you absolutely attack here.
Yeah, Vincent's certainly not blocking. Spell Queller is not good.
Yeah. Birds.
I'm not excited about this Birds because Vincent can
Scoos.
just fight here.
Queller for Scoos. Okay. We'll see if Vincent's we'll see if Sean's able to remove that.
Ooh, so this is going to be quite a blowout of a turn. Sean has cast 2 spells this turn.
I guess to flip it.
This is
the Spell Queller fights the Krallen Horde Howler.
Right.
They need to remember the flip trigger, though.
It is a trigger that can be missed, but it looks like Sean is...
Yeah, but yeah, the Spell Queller fighting Duskwatch is going to be crazy if that's what Vincent chooses to do, which I would, right? Like, you've killed 2 things with this Ovenwald tracker?
Yeah, unless you're doing something else with your turn.
He brought the Kasali Pride Mage.
So you get the best of both worlds. You not only get attack for 3, you also get to fight.
Yeah. 11 on both. Fight your dude.
Mm-hmm.
Get him out of here. And pass.
Look at how much work this Ovenwald tracker
Dude, this Ovenwald tracker is, like, really good.
Alright, Sean draws Eternal Witness. The Ewit would have been...
Ewit's a little slow. I might just company here.
Yeah, like... If you company here...
He does have Pontiff. Oh, Maelstrom Pulse. Okay. Maelstrom Pulse will kill the Queller, get the Scoos back. Wait, but... Oh, no. So he has... if Vincent... I'm trying to think about ways in which the fight works out, but I don't know if there is.
So, actually, Sean needs to be very careful here.
Mm-hmm.
When Vincent goes to attacks with the Krasali Pride Mage, he has to eat in response. Else, in response to eating...
In response to the trigger, in response to eating, he'll get fought.
Yes. So,
Agreed.
Sean has to eat now.
I think he sees this.
Yeah.
Or at least he's thinking about it. But, like, yeah. If this Ovenwald tracker kills a 3rd creature, like, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tap this, exile your Queller.
It looks like he's jump blocking. Did Sean go to?
I think he might have let the trigger resolve.
Oh no! Oh, he went to block with the Birds of Paradise too.
That's not the play.
Yeah.
This is not great because now he doesn't even have the. Okay, so now we're gonna Pontiff.
The Pontiff is gonna kill...
It's a little bit late, but sure. If Vincent's like, no, my tracker. But, like, Ovenwald tracker killed 3 things this game.
Right.
Like, that's so good. This is... I don't know what's happening. I don't think the chump block... Like, you're also taking yourself off the 4th mana for the Coco.
I'm very confused about the chump block, too. That you're not low enough where that's, like, something you need to do.
Agreed. This will probably be a Coco, but if it gets Quellered, I can't... Oh, okay.
So Vincent's in the Coco.
Sure. Sean says fine. I mean, it means that Vincent doesn't have Queller for his own Coco.
There's a Reflector Mage.
Sure.
Scoos,
Mage, bounce your Pontiff. So with that on the stack, I might fetch here for Sean. Or just, like, do something.
Mm-hmm.
So Vincent will stay neutral on life here because it'll take a point of pain to use the Horizon Canopy.
But things are, things are going to be pretty rough here.
I don't think I would let Vincent untap. If he has a Queller, your only way back into the game is a good Coco.
See, I disagree here. I think you have to let him untap and let him go to attacks.
And then try to get favorable trades.
The only way you get back in this game is if you get favorable trades.
Sure. So I think time and round was just called. Vincent is turn 0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so thinking about...
Yeah, Vincent's got to be hyper aware that, like, Sean is almost certainly has a Coco here.
Like, you have 4 mana up and nothing to do. Oh, no. He's counting the power on board. He has 7 power plus whatever he can eat with the Scoos.
Right, so the Scoos represents a lot of damage because there's a stock graveyard.
Yeah, the graveyards are very full.
Possibly you can... oh, and there's also Rogue's Passes, but we can't do both.
Right.
So one option that Sean has is... Okay, so he is going to attack for everything.
Has to be aware that the Scoos can just eat a ton of stuff, though.
Yeah, if Sean has... if Vincent has a Reflective... Excuse me, not Reflect Me. A Spell Queller, he just wins on the spot.
Yes, yes, he does. Because he Quellers and then he eats a bunch of stuff.
Right.
Coco. I don't think Vincent has Queller, though, so we're going to get to see some...
Doesn't look like he does.
We're going to get to see some variants. He's thinking about it. No, okay.
Right, let's see how good this is.
He's shuffling from Catacombs. Okay. But yeah, Sean at 7, desperate last chance, like...
Last chance saloon.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there's nothing too saucy we can hit. Fiend Hunter's probably one of your better hits.
Fiend Hunter, get the Scoos.
Right, even that's not, like,
amazing.
Thrilling.
I mean, Fiend Hunter, get the Scoos does let you block one of the other ones.
Right. I mean, Fiend Hunter, because there's no Exalted Trigger, Fiend Hunter also will block any of the other 2 creatures and just bounce. But Sean's Cocos have not been impressive.
I mean, that's just, luck of the Coco.
Yeah.
Vizier of Remedies, Duskwatch Recruiter, Duskwatch, Vizier. Unfortunately, not Devoted Druid.
Okay, so this is currently an attack of 5?
No, 7.
Oh, excuse me, 7, yes. So...
That's the block.
Sean's going to block the Qasali Pride Mage.
Can Vincent eat enough to kill him here? He has 1, 2, 3 to eat. Yeah, he can kill him here if he just eats.
Yeah, so
wait, he can just kill him. Just eat a bunch of stuff.
Right. It might be possible that our life totals aren't correct, but... No, Sean put himself to 2. So...
I don't know why Vincent wouldn't just eat there. He'll play a big night, though.
I think Vincent may have tunnel vision a little bit on this night.
Yeah, but he still could have... He still has 2 untapped green sources. He could have eaten to kill Sean.
Yeah, and were there enough creatures?
Yes, because there's at least...
There's at least a birds and a noble.
The Overlord Tracker fought like 3 things, and he'd only eaten 1 of them.
Yeah, there's at least a birds, noble, and Overwall Tracker in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Oh, not to mention the scavengers. Yeah, so certainly more than enough creatures. All right.
Eternal Witness, probably getting back company. Don't know if it's going to be enough Rogue's Passage here.
Yeah, Vincent finds a Rogue's Pass.
How do you beat that? That's going to do it. And Sean will scoop it up. So Nightfall getting the win here against Abzan Vizier combo.
Yep. So that looks like it's going to wrap it up. For round 2 here, we're gonna head out and see if
get some pairings.
Is gonna be firing.
Yeah, I'm gonna reset the overlays here. So we did see some Nightfall there, which was a request from the chat. If people have other things that they want to see beyond just like I want to see Jank, there is like a fair bit of brewy stuff running around. I don't know how. Let's see. So this is round 2. Oh, rip. Okay, so... Oh, that's way too far. Okay. Yeah, so I had Dan pull the thing, but Dan pulled the thing too far, so maybe I will have to go pull the thing. Deck. Fae or Esper. TX Rager, I'll do what I can, but I will make no strong assertions that those decks exist in the shop tonight. Apologies. And then right player name. Okay, so here's how this is gonna work. Okay, so cool. Dan is back. Do we have pairings for next round?
No, looks like we've got one outstanding match.
Okay, great. You're in charge of the stream because you pulled that too far in, and I need to fix it.
Lovely. Well, if chat, if anyone has any preferences for what they would like to see, we will do our best to accommodate that for the next round. Oh, I see. Requests for brews and whatnot. Yeah, we certainly try to feature the more interesting decks in the first couple of rounds, as they're kind of hit or miss in how well they do in the later rounds.
All right. Yep. That's mostly fine. Okay. Yeah. So throw it back up to the booth for just a second. So we're gonna take a short break. We'll take a 4-minute break. We should be back right around or a little bit before the timer stops. But yeah, we're gonna take a break so that we can grab something to eat and drink, and we will be back with you shortly. So again, 4-minute break, then right back here at MTG Card Market Wednesday Night Modern.
So far away. far away.
Life as an up-and-coming musician is exciting, intense, filled with passion, and driven by hustle. Ciroc is how we celebrate it all. Ciroc, let's get it. Celebrate responsibly.
This mouse like glitches out. It's not good. And we're back here at MTGCardMarket Wednesday Night Modern. Dan just came back. Looks like the last round is about to finish. What's the what is causing the hold up so that we may shame them?
It was actually it was Absent versus Amulet Blue.
Okay.
Well, not Amulet, the Titan deck, Amulet Titan. And
I feel like that matchup should be like over. Like, Abzan just plays Tarmogoyf, and if they don't get Primeval Titan, they win in 5 turns.
Well, you would think, but yeah, turn 5 was like hit you with 3 Primeval Titans or something.
Oh, turn 5 of turns was hit
Turn
you
5, yeah. Which,
whoa. That's a good way to lose.
I've been informed that that is some high amount of damage.
I've been told it's pretty super lethal, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's usually pretty good. Grimflare, a little outclassed there.
Yeah. Let's see. Other things in Magic news that we can talk about. Wizards recently put Commander on MTGO as a supported format.
Mm-hmm.
Some controversy around their decisions about ban lists and things.
I gotta be honest, not terribly caught up to date on the all things Commander.
This is true. It's not a format that you really partake of.
No, I've described it with disparaging words in the past.
Yeah, some of which you probably can't say right now.
Yeah.
But you know, for those Commander enthusiasts who do want a place to play online, it exists to a degree now. I think there's like some phases.
It's
happening.
1v1 Commander though, right?
Yeah.
It's not multiplayer. Yeah.
Right, but also like multiplayer Commander also existed before. You could like play friendlies with people.
Sure.
Oh, amazing though. So we get pairings. All right. What do we want? I think it's either this one or that one.
Let's try this.
Okay, go for it. All right, Dan's gonna get us a match. We're gonna get to watch some more Magic. So, yeah, Dan sort of leaving the booth, getting with a smile on his face. Hopefully we see something good. I don't know everything that the players are playing, but I think we might see Vizier combo again. but like green-white with no black splash. We also might see elves. I just don't know what Isaac decided to bring this week. Elves, notably, seeing a big uptick in the meta because it's pretty good against Death Shadow. You have lots of dorks for blockers. Death Shadow like puts itself low, and then you just overrun your team with Azuri. There's a lot of like elves. I think does have a lot of play if you're going to be playing against a lot of Death Shadow, just because like you go wide and they don't really play sweepers, and if they don't have Kozilek's Return or Angular Gods, you probably just win the game. Oh, I think I figured something out. Okay, so we'll throw it down to the play overlay as Dan gets us a match, and we'll see what we get. Like I said, a lot of diversity in the modern format, and a lot of deck diversity in the shop too. People, oh my god! All right, please no bump the table. Fingers crossed that... Okay, so we do see people moving to the table here. I think... Let's see. Is that gonna be... Damn it, Dan has the pairing sheet. Okay, so... Alright, players are sitting down now. I think, yeah, so that's going to be Isaac Sherman on the right. So let's... Isaac Sherman. So, Dan, who are we watching?
We are watching Isaac Sherman play against Kyle Griffith.
Okay, do we know what they're playing?
No idea. So this would be a bit of a mystery here.
Both players are 2-0, correct?
Both players are 2. I believe this is Isaac's first time playing on camera as well.
Isaac's?
Excuse me, not Isaac, Kyle.
Yeah, Isaac we've seen on camera a lot, actually.
Yeah, so I think Kyle's new face to the stream.
Cool.
Yeah, so always excited to get some new blood here.
Yeah, so go for the high roll here. Isaac going to fire off a third dice? 5 dice. What's happening?
Oh, maybe we're doing poker. It looks like we are doing poker. Isaac has... Oh, Isaac rolled a bolt. Well, that's pretty good.
House is pretty full.
Alright,
so Kyle's like, how do I beat this? He's got a pair.
Yeah, so
but a pair, but no straight draw. Yeah, so Isaac last week played Vizier combo. I don't know if he's going to be playing the same thing again. He does play elves. He does play. We saw him on Vizier combo. We sort of gave him the what for about Vizier combo actually.
Yeah, I mean it was very 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 new to the deck, so you know maybe some less than optimal lines, but yeah, that's what we're all here to do, right? To learn.
I mean no one is like coming. Yeah, you're coming to this event if you have a new deck. This is the place to test it. Like you don't want to test it at like a GP.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, the poker roll do me is a more obscure way to roll dice to determine who plays first.
I'm a big fan of the poker roll. It's just more exciting.
Sure. How many of your opponents no sir the poker roll?
Oh, sometimes they're just very much like
don't care.
Yeah, just high roll, please.
Yeah.
Or even one step first is no odd or even. Yeah, no draws. But hey, yeah. So long as it's random, you can determine who goes first in any way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, alright, we're gonna shuffle up here and looking
Should
forward
play
to
a game of Yu-Gi-Oh to decide who goes first.
Outside of the TV show, I really don't understand how that game even works.
It's literally turn 1, turn 0 combos.
I thought that was how Pokemon worked.
No. That's how like Pokemon, you tutor a lot. But in Yu-Gi-Oh, you tutor a lot and you win the game on turn 1.
Oh, well. That sounds fun and interactive.
Yes. All right, so looks like Isaac is playing Vizier combo. And we are going to see some blue-white control here from Kyle.
All right, so this should be an interesting match. And Isaac looks like he has a...
Ooh, Kyle with the foil BFZ Island. Wow.
Yeah, it looks like Isaac has a perfectly keepable hand.
Kyle has one land, but he has a Serum Visions.
Ooh.
He also has an Ancestral. I don't know, man. He's got a lot of ways to catch up to with Supreme Verdict.
I think I keep this. You go turn 1 Ancestral, and then you have Serum Visions.
I think you go turn 1 Serum Visions.
Oh, no, excuse me. Yeah, you go turn 1 Serum Visions, you're on the draw as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, like, a second land in the top 5. And with Serum Visions, you might be able to set up even more.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're in fine shape.
He will mull, though.
It is a little bit risky, especially since you're not a deck that... Like, even if you hit your second land drop on time, like, that doesn't matter. We really want 3 and 4 as well.
Yeah, so not all the blue-white control decks are playing Ancestral Vision. This one is, but, you know, there are decks that have foregone that for, like, Sphinx's Rev and stuff. Blue-white control. And it looks like Kyle has to go to 5 here.
Yeah, unfortunately...
That's not great.
Yeah, you do have a lot of ways of getting back in this game because you have, you know, Supreme Verdicts and
Sure,
whatnot.
you can catch up if the board gets out of control, but, like, it can be hard. Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, hey, that's the worst part about going to 6, right? If you go to 6, you can guarantee you have a good 6.
Yeah.
It'd be much better.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, I think I saw, like, at least, I don't know. I saw it was at least a one-lander, but I don't know what the rest of it was. I only saw Colonnade.
Again, in the dark especially,
Sure.
you may have to give some thought to just keeping that.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that one-lander. It seemed so close, you know?
Well, because you have the Serum Visions, and at worst you have an Ancestral, you do have some time to kind of draw your way out of it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Vizier combo deck can kill you pretty quickly, like most Abzan decks, but if they don't, like, they can also just dirtle with creatures for a while.
Cool. So, hopefully we get a better 5 so we can see some real magic here. Unfortunately, on 5, you're pretty much keeping anything that's even
You
remotely
keep
playable.
like, yeah, you keep literal anything. Like, if you can't keep a no-lander, but you keep a one-lander.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, speaking of no-landers... No, he's got a couple there.
Yep.
Looks like you've got both colors, too. Give it a scry. If he can turn one, like, if he turn one suspends Ancestral, he's fine.
Yeah, turn one, I mean, that kind of unmulligans you, right?
Yeah, Birds and Pass from Isaac, who will fall to 18 off his Shockland. Back over to Kyle. I think he has a Serum Visions as well, so this can set him up for, like, you know, draws that are conducive to him not just losing the game due to Screw or Flood.
Always a little scary to face birds and not be able to deal with it, but...
I mean, Blue-Eye Control doesn't anyways, right? Like, you're not pathing the bird.
Yeah.
Isaac draws a Coco. Is probably just going to Renegade Rallier here.
I mean, you know, this is certainly a lot of ramp. You're going to have access to 5 mana on turn 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely, like, obviously, I think Renegade Rallier probably one of the stronger plays here. Rebuying a fetch land is like, because the ramp is permanent, unless, like, they destroy your lands, it's, like, pretty good.
Yeah, Renegade Rallier can also... The amount of value you can accrue from it is sometimes shocking.
Okay, this instead will be a Kasali Pride Mage and attack for 1 with the Bird of Paradise.
No, the Birds of
Oh,
Paradise.
the Bird is
play double
casting.
higher.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, darn. Okay, yeah, so this is where you're like, okay, please let me draw into the lands for Supreme Verdict. At CW8 Smith in the chat, the blue-white control decks generally do not run Narset. Normally the Planeswalker package is like 1 Jace Architect of Thought, 1 or 2 Gideon Juras, and then an Elspeth Sun's Champion. If you really want to go over the top.
The problem with Narset is that it doesn't play well from behind, whereas the other Planeswalkers...
Yeah, I mean, Narset comes in at 7 loyalty, but like, eh.
The impact on board is minimal.
Absolutely, yeah. Jace Architect of Thought at least reduces damage you're taking and stuff.
Right. And the other cards can grind a little bit better.
Yeah. Like, Gideon Jura, obviously, if your opponent doesn't have 8 power and you play Gideon Jura and plus, it's like... So there's a Plains and a passing of the turn here. So there are 2 instances of Exalted out. So this potentially could be an attack for 4.
Right.
Notably, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this play because of the... Okay, so the Kasali Pride Mage will get Path. But for Isaac, so I guess now he does have Revolt on, so he can play the Rallier post-combat and get back a fetch. I just like... That turn, if he doesn't have another fetch, I sort of like playing the Rallier because you guarantee Revolt then.
Sure, but the thing is, you also will almost always have an opportunity to trigger Revolt later in the game.
Sure.
So, the Renegade Rallier is a fine play later in the game.
As well. Fair enough.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, when Renegade Rallier does something sort of obnoxious, like a rebuy Voice of Resurgence, it's like, how is this card so good, right? Because you're just like, oh, let me just get 5 mana for that.
But, yeah, Isaac just gonna play with the advantage that he has. He does have 4 mana available.
Yeah, I think it's Coco.
So he's just gonna run this Coco out and under counter magic. Doesn't look like Kyle has a Spell Pierce.
Nope, nobody's playing Spell Pierce in these decks.
It's you're not wrong.
All right, so it looks like there's a Kitchen Finks there. At the very least, this will be a Devoted Druid and an Eternal Witness to rebuy the Collected Company. I think he also already has a Finks in hand. So if you're Kyle, you need to kill the Devoted Druid when and if Isaac casts... okay, so he draws another Path, so he's fine. Well, okay, he needs to also draw Supreme Verdict. Oh, wait, he has a Verdict. He's totally fine.
The problem is, Kyle goes Verdict and Isaac just rebuilds immediately with...
Coco and stuff?
Coco, yeah.
Right, but, like, Kyle's draw is, like, quite good for a 5.
Absolutely.
Isaac draws another Birds, it looks like. So he's got a Finks, a Renegade Rallier, a Vizier of Remedies. Yeah, so if he plays the Vizier, Kyle has to path the Devoted Druid.
Correct. Isaac can always float 1 mana from that, and really should lead off...
Well, actually, if he passed the Devoted Druid, so this is an attack for 3 here. Put him to 17. If he passed the Devoted Druid, I sort of like... You can make 2 mana, and you can... and then the Druid dies and goes to your graveyard where you can E-Wit it back, potentially.
Correct.
So Isaac's just like, do it!
Yeah,
Kyle has to read here.
Yeah, so Kyle's going to take a hit for 3.
Yeah. He does, I mean, he takes the hit, it's fine. I don't know if you want to let this resolve, though. So if this resolves...
Yeah, so the removal of a counter on Devoted Druid will use a stack.
Yeah, but you can just...
Or the placing of a counter.
You can just keep doing this, though. Like, when he paths in response, you just...
You can do it again.
Yes. Yeah, so it's infinite green mana.
And just to double check, we'll pull up Devoted Druid here.
Oops. I mistyped.
Yes, you can activate that ability as much as you want. There's no opportunity to path it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be... The infinite green mana is happening. You had to have pathed it with Vizier on the stack.
Correct. And unfortunately, it looks like Kyle might be realizing this now.
Yes. That seems like the problem.
So, Isaac can now go pretty ham here.
I mean, he has a Coco in hand. He needs to find... so he can play, like... Theoretically, he can play all the green mana spells in his hand. Biggest thing I'd be doing is Cocoing here. If you hit a Duskwatch, you win the game. If you hit a... I don't know.
Eternal Witness is a redraw.
Yeah.
Alright, so I believe...
Okay. So he's going to path it, but this doesn't do anything.
No, Isaac can still have infinite mana.
Yes.
Because, you can respond to the put a trigger on it by putting another trigger on it.
Yeah. Yeah, like put a -1/-1 counter on it is just like a free ability.
Yes. Because of where the column is, that is the cost for that ability. So you can pay that cost repeatedly. And you can just stack untapped triggers.
Right.
Pathing the Vizier also doesn't do anything. Because, again, you can make infinite mana with this on the stack.
Sure. Isaac makes infinite mana, probably going to Coco in response to the path.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let's see what he can find here.
Scavenging Ooze.
Scavenger is obviously a good draw.
I mean, you can eat everybody's graveyard.
I think there might be a Viscera Seer there as well. And if there is a Viscera Seer,
Oh wait, if he has a Viscera Seer, there's also a Finks in hand. Yeah.
yeah.
I think they're discussing where exactly on the stack everything is.
Yeah, Kyle's not gonna like if the Vizier resolved, Kyle will not be able to interact with infinite mana.
Yeah. And the Vizier resolved.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so Isaac is gonna go. Yeah, I think the judge is there talking to them from the side there. So Scoos, Viscera Seer.
Okay.
So now we just play the Finks in hand.
Well, no. Currently, this Vizier, the path is on the stack.
Oh right.
So if I was Isaac, I would not allow this to happen. I would sack it in response.
Yeah, you.
Yeah. If he sacks it, Isaac can just tap up birds, play the Renegade Rallier, get it back, then play Kitchen Finks from hand, and then be at infinite life.
Yeah. I definitely think you sack it. There's no reason to let the path resolve and put it in a place where you can't access it in the future.
Right. And Isaac is looking at the Renegade Rallier, maybe realizing
that like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done what I did.
Yeah, because we didn't have lethal, but we did have infinite life, and I'm not sure.
I don't think Blue Eye Control beats that actually.
Well, Blue Eye Control can certainly deck him now, but the problem is Kyle is about to just cast Supreme Verdict, and Isaac's gonna have a lot of trouble rebuilding here.
Yes.
Yeah, not sacking the Vizier in response to the path. I think it was a pretty big misstep here because that's just gone.
Yeah.
And we don't have any way of finding another one.
And he does have confirmed infinite life if he ralliers it back. So
yes, admittedly, that's no guarantee you win the game, right? Because Kyle does have Supreme Verdict for next turn.
But infinite life, I don't think that Blue White Control has a way to beat that.
No. Like your game plan now is to deck your opponent, which is a very difficult battle to fight.
Yeah. So the whole graveyard gets eaten here. Those get exiled.
Yeah.
So, but if we go over to Kyle, he just like has on curve Supreme Verdict, and if he draws lands, then he has Elspeth.
Yeah, I mean Kyle's not out of this game yet. Isaac very much may have given Kyle too much time.
Wait, did he just attack with the Ewit and the bird in the same turn? I don't know what the bird just did, but they changed their life totals for it.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and double check that.
Okay, yeah, get an updated life total as well if you don't mind. So over to Kyle here. I think you slam Supreme Verdict on this board. Like just, and then it's all over. So Kyle will fetch. He'll fall to 16. Yeah. Isaac apparently did forget that he had already attacked this turn. He did not cast Waves of Aggression or a similar extra combat spell, so that is not how that's going to go. So Kyle will search his deck. I mean, here I think I probably just get... You have Hallowed Fountain as your land for turn, so we'll see what he gets here. I don't know how much flexibility he wants. Ooh, he gets a Prairie Stream. That's cool. That comes in untapped as well because of the island and the plains in play.
Okay.
So
both players are at 17. I did confirm that Isaac attempted to attack with the Birds of Paradise in this second
Kyle's at
step.
16 now from the fetch land.
Sure. Yeah, so Isaac did attempt to attack with the Birds of Paradise in the second combat step.
14.
Which,
and bam.
Yeah.
That is a Verdict Supreme.
So
Isaac is going to start sacking things to scry.
The problem here is because so much of his mana was tied up with mana dorks, he's going to have a lot of trouble rebuilding.
Right, and he doesn't have a way to trigger Revolt easily.
No, I mean, Isaac both needs cards like Collecting Company, Eternal Witness, and lands.
Right.
Like, and that's a difficult place to be because you need so many pieces. You're playing against a blue-white deck that, has Supreme Verdict. We're going to have Snap Supreme Verdict, as a possibility later down the line.
Yeah, Kyle's down to one card in hand, but if this Elspeth ever hits the table, it's going to be, like the card does end the game pretty quickly.
Yeah. And
Isaac just going through this slow process of sacking his whole board.
hey, I mean, this is just.
I
more
mean, it
information.
is a lot of value from scrying.
Right.
Everything dies. He's found something he's happy with on top. But again, like you said, he's gonna have to play like Finks, play birds. Okay, so there also is a Snapcaster in hand for Kyle. So 2 lands from now, he'll be able to verdict.
All right. Looks like Isaac kept a land on top.
It's a fetch land.
It is a fetch land, so we can.
We can rally her for something.
Unfortunately, can't rally for Eternal Witness.
That would be really
It doesn't
good.
be a little bit too good, but can get back a birds, or I think what's more likely to happen, get back the Viscerous here.
Sure.
Unfortunately, allowing the Vizier to get exiled again means that we're looking for another combo piece.
Right, and I really
can't-
think that's going to end up hurting him.
Yeah, letting the Vizier get exiled again. Kind of missed the. I don't know if you would say with the winning line, but with that, getting the Vizier back, playing the Renegade Rallier, and then
Infinite Life. Infinite Life is a winning line.
also not just Infinite Life, Infinite Scries too. You can scry whatever you want to the top.
Right. So you give him a turn to answer.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he did, but,
All right.
So this will buy back Devoted Druid.
Okay, that's fine as
And
well.
here's a birds.
Sure.
And wow, 1 turn after Verdict, you still have 2 mana dorks and a 3/2.
Yeah. So Kyle draws a land, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kyle's just looking to rip the next land as well.
Yeah,
This
the
is
next
Seachrome Coast.
The next land is going to be great, both in the fact that you can snap Supreme Verdict,
Snap Verdict
and the
is-
Elspeth.
I mean, I think you just play the Elspeth and are like, do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Do
You
it,
just
I dare
jam the
you.
Elspeth.
Isaac draws a Coco though, so
Coco gonna be quite good here. I mean, when is Coco not good? Right.
he'll jam the attack for 3. Kyle will fall to 11.
Kyle maybe revealing a bit of information there with his pause. Unfortunately, he can play Snapcaster as Ambush Viper, but nothing related to Snapback. Let's see if Kyle can find a land. He does in the
but
form of a
tap
colonnade. But like,
It's fine.
That's fine.
You're
Our
probably
life-
not dead.
yeah, the life total is high enough.
I mean, if Isaac Coco's into the nuts here, still probably doesn't kill him, actually. There's only 3 power. If Isaac needs to Coco into 8 more, I don't think his deck does that.
No, 8 more power is very difficult. I'm surprised Isaac.
Isaac not Cocoing there, though, is a really, I think, a pretty questionable choice.
Yeah, I mean, Isaac might be playing it conservative because he wants Kyle to have to answer the board. But
Now we're just going to get Snap Verdicted. I mean, and then we Coco, but then he Elspeths.
Yeah, I think we Elspeth first.
I sort of like Snap Verdict.
Snap Verdict is because Isaac has to like vomit onto the board
Oh,
to try
true.
to deal with this.
You're right.
And next turn, Snap Verdict is just going to be just as good.
Oh, but
it looks like
he took my line, and I like your line more.
Yeah.
So now, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you play Elspeth, and then Isaac is like, panic, make creatures.
And then you can get everything.
And then you're
here,
like,
here Isaac
yeah.
rebuilds. I mean, you could be dead here.
I thought we said 8 power was hard.
8 power is hard, but Isaac has also another turn to do things.
Sure.
Also, like
Eternal Witness, Devoted Druid. Just sick of seeing these Devoted Druids.
Also, of note, Kyle's Supreme Verdict should be in exile.
You're right. You should tell him that.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll mention it if it comes
If it
up.
matters, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably tell them now.
Yeah, this could affect a couple of lines here.
I would, yeah. Okay, so Dan will hop out of the booth. Eternal Witness, another Coco. All good stuff for Isaac here. Has a Finks. Like, again, he's close. It's just like the Vizier being exiled means he's not close enough. Alright, we'll go 4 mana. We'll Coco again. If this hits a Vizier, Isaac is still not in the money, but is like almost in the money. That might be a Vizier there, actually. Let's see here. So, hand is Birds, Land, Finks. And Finks, that's definitely a Vizier. But the question is, can he do anything with the infinite green? And the answer is, I don't think so. This is like becoming a real problem when we watch this deck.
So yeah, and that's one problem with this combo, right? It's cute.
You have infinite green mana, but if you don't have anything to spend it on, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And you only have 3 or 4 cards to do anything with that. It's just, I mean, of course you can chain into a bunch of things. Quarter calling becomes just like
Quarter calling wins a game.
But yeah, so I mean, Kyle's gonna play Elspeth this turn and like being in reasonable shape.
It's this Elspeth or D-Sphere right now. Because Elspeth does tap you out.
Did Isaac not attack?
I don't think he did. I don't think he attacked with the Ewit. Which is, sort of just like...
Right, because he Coco'd into the
Well,
villager
okay,
Ewit,
but
right?
he, I mean, so the thing is, though, is that Kyle having... No, Kyle was tapped out from the verdict.
Kyle was tapped out,
so, no, okay, so this looks like it's going to be 2... I think Kyle wants to play both spells in his hand. He wants to play Detention Sphere and
I mean,
and Spreading Seas.
I mean, this is certainly a very scary board. Leaving Isaac with
Isaac
Vizier
has
and the
5
Devotion.
power, so like, play triple Hierarch win, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
I mean, so like missing the attack
actually
means,
is gonna matter a lot here.
Yeah, it's gonna matter a lot. Isaac also had to draw out to like if he had Gavening Township, I think he wins there. But
Right.
it looks like he's flooding out a little bit.
Yeah, Devoted Druid can attack. Kyle draws. I think you just have to play Elspeth and start plussing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Elspeth should have been played a couple turns ago.
Sure.
But you're never going to be able to answer the board until you play Elspeth.
Right.
Once you resolve that Elspeth, now we can start advancing the board state.
His hand is Elspeth Path, and I really think you just play the Elspeth. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of this line. I really, like you're saying, the Elspeth like just is so good.
Right.
And
it looks
okay,
like,
so he has Blessed Alliance Path.
So I think what Kyle's plan here is to just path the Kitchen Finks, Blessed Alliance, and gain 4 life.
Please escalate this.
Yeah,
Okay.
the escalation is pretty free here. But the problem here is like because he cast the Blessed Alliance first, Isaac should have sacked the Kitchen Finks.
Yeah.
Although Isaac's gonna sack the Eternal Witness and not be punished.
Sure. Kyle goes back up to 7, and that's actually a lot of breathing room.
Yeah, I mean, while it is a little bit tempting to like, hey, if I don't sack the Kitchen Finks, I'm hitting you for 3. Isaac may have forgotten that Kyle escalated the game 4 life. So regardless, it wasn't lethal.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, there though, if you sack the Finks and then you make him path the Finks, right, and then you still have the Ewit.
Yeah, but Isaac had no idea that Kyle had the
path.
The path, right?
This is another Finks. Isaac up to 20.
Yeah.
But now the Elspeth is just great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now Kyle has to play the Elspeth, right? He has no other cards in hand.
Yes, that's correct, Dan. Okay. Yeah. Boom. 6
All right.
whole mana. Plus, make some soldiers. I mean, so now Isaac like.
Now Isaac's in a little bit of trouble here. Yeah.
The Elspeth is pretty good.
We're really looking for a good Coco off the top.
Right, because if you have these 3, you have 3 soldiers, right? You have to attrition 2 of them a turn.
I mean, it's also worth noting that Orzhov Pontiff is lethal.
Oh my goodness, we get it, Dan. Orzhov Pontiff is lethal.
Look, this deck probably runs the Orzhov Pontiff.
I know it probably runs Orzhov Pontiff. I'm just like slightly tilted by the constant Orzhov Pontiff references.
It's very good. Very good.
Sure.
And amusingly, that is a card that will be able to beat Kyle for like several turns in the future. Yeah. So like Isaac, barring Kyle drawing counter magic, Isaac's gonna have several draws into like maybe I hit lethal.
Sure.
Yeah, Isaac. Remember his clue tokens as well.
Mm-hmm. He does get to draw a lot of cards with the tracker.
Yeah, I would go ahead and start drawing now.
Wait. Don't double block this though. You have to just single block both. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. Again, like if Isaac does have Pontiff in his deck, he should have drawn first.
Yeah.
Because I mean that is lethal.
Then you kill him. Yes.
You kill him.
I agree. All right, untap from Kyle. Draw step. I mean, obviously, like Supreme Verdict is the card here, right? Like if you hit a verdict, you're just so money.
Yeah. Kyle. No.
Oh my
wow.
God. I was right.
A slight misstep here in not attacking with the soldier first.
Sure. I mean, he gets blocked by the devoted druid for no value, though.
Sure, but you gotta put fear in their hearts.
You send a message.
Gotta send a message.
All right. Plus the Elspeth.
So I believe the phrase that I'm thinking of is, "Oh, how the tables have turned."
Yes, absolutely. Isaac gonna crack some more clues. Kyle, to be fair, on a Mulda 5 has drawn like nuts.
Kyle has certainly drawn very well. Isaac has perhaps had a little bit of help.
Flooded a little bit.
Isaac perhaps has given Kyle
A few too many outs.
yeah,
Duskwatch Recruiter, lots of mana.
lots of mana.
But like, does it beat the incoming Elspeth ult?
It
Hint,
does.
the answer to the question is probably not.
It does if we draw Orzhov, Pontiff.
Oh my God.
Look, this is like very fundamentally important here. We need to draw Orzhov, Pontiff. And we need to do it in a hurry.
We get it, Dan.
We need to draw that Pontiff, and we need to do it fast.
That's a Fiend Hunter.
Fiend Hunter, all right.
Fiend Hunter surprisingly, or not surprisingly, Fiend Hunter is
And I
just...
think we just put a Coco and a Cord on the bottom.
Vomit.
Not thrilled about that.
No, we're not. Because Cord can fetch Pontiff.
Correct.
Look at me, I'm Dan. I'm figuring out how to get
But the problem is, like,
Pontiff.
we don't even have lethal on board anymore.
Uh-huh. Takes a Vizier. Okay.
That doesn't really do a whole lot.
I agree. Alright, pass the turn back. Untap. Draw step. Man, what if he just, like, rips us another Supreme Verdict?
Eh. I mean, I am a little bit concerned if I'm Kyle, just because, like, Isaac's going to get a lot of cards from this. One thing Isaac should do is, on upkeep, with the trigger on the stack, probably activate, 3 or 4 more times.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright, 3 more soldiers coming in. I don't know if I attack.
I don't think I attack.
I just hold it. Because you have lethal when you...
Once you're all, you will have lethal.
They're all 3/3s? No, they're not. No, they're not all. It's not lethal. There's only 6. 6 3/3s doesn't do it.
Oh, sure. Also, it's a risky line.
Isaac misses his flip trigger.
Yes, but it is a trigger you can miss.
But it's way more beneficial if it doesn't flip, though.
But it is not on our job to point out missed triggers here.
That feels bad.
Yeah. Isaac is going to pass the turn here.
If he misses it a second time?
That just happens.
Tilted. Oh, I think he realized that he missed it.
Uh-huh.
We did it. We're fine. I actually had this bet with him last week, is what percentage of flip triggers is he going to miss? And the answer was all of them. And so far, he's getting them, I guess. Alright, so some discussions happening about what happens now. So the Duskwatch Recruiter flips into Kralin Horde Howler. Or doesn't flip into Kralin Horde Howler.
Oh, and Isaac's going to scoop it up.
Is this like a time thing? Maybe he scooped to the Elspeth?
Yeah, I mean... So...
I don't know.
Isaac must not have a Pontiff in this deck. Else there's no way he scoops.
He had a Cord in hand. Of course he doesn't have a Pontiff in the deck.
He must not. I mean, if he did, that would not be great.
I agree.
All right, but we're gonna be going post-board here. Kyle's, must be thrilled to win that on a Mulda 5. Admittedly, drawing very well and with a little bit of help, but.
I mean, Mulda 5, though, when you draw out of that, you're just like, I am the greatest.
Oh, and it's not like Isaac had a poor start either.
Yeah,
right?
no, the variant, like, Isaac literally had access to infinite green mana on, like, turn 4 or 5.
Turn 4? No, this was under Supreme Verdict, right?
Mm-hmm. On the play, turn 4, infinite green.
Yeah. Pretty good.
I think you have to bring Pontiff against this. It should be in every Abzan deck that's not like Abzan midrange.
Yeah, it just gives you so much utility. Especially because you're playing the quarter calling deck.
Right, you just get one, and then there's 5 of them in your deck.
Exactly. Even more, you have Cocos as well. This
Yeah.
is,
Each of those is like a tenth of a pontiff.
it's true. Better than a 10.
Yeah, it's better than a tenth. You start
casting-
at like 50. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you start at 50. It's like an eighth of a pontiff.
sure. And you got
So
4.
so you have 5.5 pontiffs in your deck.
Yes, which only increases as the game goes further.
Yes. Yeah. You start approaching like the limit of six or whatever pontiffs.
You get Ewit back of that Pontiff. Unfortunately, with this deck, you can't live the resto dream.
Sure. Yeah. So like, oh man, that's weird. I have 5.5 pontiffs in my deck. Well, they're only 4.5 of them are virtual pontiffs.
Sure. I mean, I've certainly like with MtgCard. I've certainly played a game where I like
Pontiff, blink pontiff.
Pontiff, Kiki, a Pontiff, and like.
It's hard to lose.
There.
You just shrink their board, make yours bigger.
Well, one or the other. Right?
CW8 Smith, Duskwatch Recruiter's the combo win con because you draw your whole deck and there's a walking ballista in it.
Right.
And then you cast an arbitrarily large walking ballista and you kill them.
Yeah. So yeah, and that is what you do. That's the reason why you have infinite mana, and that's what you do with it.
Yeah, you make a really, really big XX, dude.
I mean, Duskwatch Recruit is also not terrible late game where
you just get to draw cards with it.
Yeah. Also, flipping it is somewhat relevant because you have a lot of generic mana symbols in your cards.
You have it on the Vizier, you have it on the Devoted Druid, you have it on the Sphinx. Fair enough.
What's a fair number? You have one on Tireless Tracker.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know.
CW8 Smith, I saw the Ballista last week. I'm assuming it's in his deck, but it is only a one of.
Yeah.
All right. Hand for Kyle. Looks like there was a Cryptic and an Elspeth in there. He kept it. So like 4 lands, Cryptic, Elspeth. Let's go. Blue, honestly, I'm so happy that Blue-White controls like a good deck. It's just like, I will keep the most slow, and I will just win by catching up. Isaac notably doesn't have a birds this time.
Yeah, this is a much slower start from Isaac. He does have a Quarter Call in hand, so, we'll have better late game now.
Right. We'll see. So yeah, Isaac goes to untap. Draw step. Got a Horizon Canopy in hand. Cord, I think another Windswept Heath. He'll take a point from this. He'll fall to 18. Probably gonna make Kyle have the answer. Yeah, Devoted Druid. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna show him Horizon Canopy. So, with Devoted Druid...
Yeah, I mean, Kyle can't path here. They just...
Well, I don't even know if he has a path. Oh, you can't fetch Flooded Strand with Flooded Strand, by the way.
Yeah, they probably noticed that. Yeah, I mean, all the lands do look kind of similar.
They both have blue-white on them.
Actually, all the lands in this deck pretty much look the same.
Yeah.
It's half white, half blue.
Yeah. CW8 Smith is questioning whether or not Walking Ballista is actually in the deck.
Yeah. You just definitely don't pick it if you Coco.
Sure. No, so what you do is you have infinite green mana, and you have an Ewit, and you have a Cord, and you Cord for Ballista, and then you Ewit it back to your hand.
Oh,
and then you cast it for arbitrarily large
fancy.
numbers.
Or we could just Cord for Dustwatch and just draw it.
Yeah, dude, but that's way less swag. It also doesn't get blown out by Surgical, but hey, what do I know? Okay.
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 Immediately draw the Vizier. Okay.
Oh, wait, no, he just wins now, assuming Kyle doesn't have interaction, because he plays the Vizier, makes infinite green mana, Cords.
Kyle quickly pulls the Mana Leak to the front.
What an animal. Do it. Do it. You have to leak this.
Yeah. Kyle can actually make this, Oh, he can't make this resolve.
Uh-oh. He has another Vizier.
Does he have another
He has
Vizier?
another Vizier.
Is this real life?
This is real life. Make infinite green mana. No, don't Coco, just Cord.
Oh, you can do both. You don't have the win con yet, right?
Oh my. Sure, Scavenging Ooze, birds. Great. Everything to the bottom. No. Cord?
Now you can Cord. Oh yeah, Cord. Just Cord for Dustwatch. We win.
Please, don't do this to me again, Isaac.
Oh god.
Not 2 weeks in a row. Not like this.
We are giving Isaac a little bit grief because, well, for 2 reasons. We are good friends with Isaac, and also
because he missed lethal in this exact
the same
spot.
scenario came up.
Dan, you're on play-by-play. I can't watch.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Alright, Kyle's gonna... Sarah Vision. Keep in mind, this combo is at instant speed. Well,
Sure.
No, I
the
take that back.
walking
It
ballista
is not
is
at instant
not.
speed. You have to actually resolve the walking ballista.
Seachrome Coast and... Okay. Isaac? Cord.
We're gonna fetch.
Sure.
Okay, that's a Pokedex on the bottom.
Yeah, it's the so
Bestier.
Life Crafters be sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. Sorry, chat. This is currently 1-0 in favor of Kyle.
Jason, this is game 2 here.
Yeah. This is Okay. The thing is, like, if you cord 4, he could have done it last turn.
Yeah. Although, so one nice part is counter magic is not effectively up because Remand does nothing and Mana Leak does nothing.
Yeah, it's only negate
It's only negate.
or like deprive. Isaac attacks for 4. 16. Oh wait, he's scoozed. 15. Isaac up to 17.
Alright, well, at this point, you might as well screw the graveyard.
If this is a supreme verdict for Kyle, oh my god, he has a path now. Wait, no, just cord for Duskwatch and win the game. Do it.
Unfortunately, so Isaac may have taken not the hanging back walker, the walking ballista out, or maybe.
Why would your win con be out, Dan?
Look, I'm trying to give Isaac the benefit of the doubt here, okay?
You're a kinder fellow than this man over here.
It's fair, but it looks like Kyle doesn't have the supreme verdict.
No, but he does have a path.
The path is going to be quite good.
I think you kill the Vizier here.
Yeah, the Vizier combos with Kitchen Finks as well.
So now we can't play Walking Ballista for arbitrarily large amounts because this is gonna...
But what Isaac could do is cord for another Vizier.
Sure, yeah, yeah. My Vizier dies, but then he can't cord for Duskwatch.
Correct.
Tilt.
Alright. So he's got a Vizier on front. Finds a Selfless Spirit?
What's happening?
I don't think this is going to work the way Isaac wants it to work.
I think he's insuring himself against Supreme Verdict? But, like, don't? Wait, no. We're baffled back here, folks.
A little bit confused by Isaac's line, but these things
a little
happen.
bit, Daniel.
I'm being generous here.
Yeah, you are.
All right, so Isaac
You draw as a collected company.
Okay.
This is an attack for 5. Kyle probably has to just take this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he might have Blessed Alliance, which would get around the Selfless Spirit.
Yeah,
but
big shrug. Isaac thinking about so he plays a Finks. He needs to tap mana though. Oh, he taps mana.
He taps mana now. Okay, yeah, no longer has infinite mana.
Did have infinite mana for a long time though.
All right.
Draw a step for. Wait, he just lets Kyle go? Okay.
I don't think he had anything that he could.
So Kyle's just got like Cryptic Delay into Elspeth.
Yeah, and unfortunately the Elspeth is not going to be good enough this game.
Why is that?
Because the Selfless Spirit can get over the Elspeth.
Right, but if he finds one piece of removal,
then we're in business.
I think he has a good shot at finding one piece of removal.
Sure. But yeah, Kyle's going to be on Fog for a couple turns here.
Yeah, I think you just, like, when your opponent tries to attack, you go tap draw. And then you do it again.
Yeah, hopefully find a Snapcaster.
Yeah, so Kyle, I believe, is asking someone about a cryptic thing. Or he was showing the cryptic to someone. So you got to do it here before he attacks.
Well, this is 8 power here.
You can't.
I think this is too much to have to take.
Right. He's getting shown an oracle ruling of some sort. I don't know. Tap draw. let's go. Tap draw's good.
Yep.
I don't like, that's what you do in this situation when you have the cryptic command. All right, Isaac taps his creatures. Kyle draws a card. Isaac now can cast Coco at will.
Yeah,
I think you play the Elspeth for chump blockers next turn, actually. I don't think you keep Cryptofogging. Like, also, if Kyle does manage to rip a path, he just, like, paths... I mean, you path the Selfless Spirit. I guess you have to wait a turn to Verdict, but, like, it's still fine.
So, because Isaac has chosen this line, I think I now hold on to the Coco.
Sure.
Because if Kyle draws in the Verdict, which, he might.
He probably has 4 of them.
Right.
Getting a Prairie Stream here. Cool inclusion. Kyle playing a little bit different mana base with Seachrome Coast and Prairie Stream instead of, like, the Hallowed Fountain Glacial Fortress.
Right. Solana's your island plains count is fairly high. The Prairie Streams can't often be free.
Sure. He does have a Verdict.
He does have... So
this will be the Speth.
Yeah. Kyle, if I was Kyle, we played Elspeth here. Next turn, end step, I bounce the Selfless Spirit, draw a card, and then Verdict.
Yeah. Isaac's going to Coco, though. So this could lead to the Elspeth just dying.
Looks like we hit...
Birds and a birds?
Birds Thoughtseize, it's not
Thoughtseize is not a creature.
We cannot hit
that is not a Viscera Seer. He hits double birds with this Coco.
I mean, Coco would be a little bit better if we could hit Thoughtseize off of it, right?
Dude, no way. You can hit Thoughtseize with Coco? Oh, wait. Isaac has a Phyrexian Revoker.
Yes, but the Phyrexian Revoker is not going to do much because of the
Verdict.
The Verdict.
So, okay. So if you're... So these are the attacks. Obviously, you're going 1-1, and then the Elspeth takes 2.
I actually might do 2-1 here.
2-1 to get the Finks?
Actually, I very much prefer
Oh,
the 2-1
you're right. You're right.
Finks.
I like the 2-1 as well.
Because that means that you don't have to worry about the second half.
Okay, Revoker probably going to name Elspeth.
Okay.
If you're Kyle, you really need to find a way to get the Selfless Spirit out of here without dying. Because the power on board is getting pretty high.
Yeah, so we have to draw removal here.
Yeah.
If you draw removal, you have a Cryptic Command in hand, so you can tap the team next turn.
He draws an Ancestral.
Not quite
what
what
you're
we
looking
wanted
for. I think your out is counting lands. I think your out is you have to go for the bounce the Selfless Spirit end of Isaac's turn play.
The problem is, I think you might be getting hit for. So you're
no, you're not. There's only 3, 3, 2. There's 8 power on board, and you can block 3 of it.
Sure. Yes.
Oh no, there's 10 power on board. You can block 3 of it. But I think you have to wait because the Selfless Spirit is just so damaging. But once you Verdict, like, you're back in the... Oh,
so it looks like Isaac's going for the tap line instead.
Kyle's going for the tap
Excuse me, yeah. Kyle's going for the tap line. And unfortunately, this...
I don't know how you win here.
Yeah, like, now... I'm not sure what you're trying to draw into. That's the
I think you're trying to draw Path.
But the problem is if you draw Path, that's...
You just Path it this turn.
If you Path it, it does nothing, right?
You Path the Selfless Spirit, so if you draw Path here...
Oh, you have to draw Path exactly.
Yeah.
Correct.
Isaac taps some mana. That is a Lifecrafter's Bestiary.
Okay. It looks like Kyle did not draw a Path, though.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit unfortunate.
Snapcaster's not live.
Snapcaster is a redraw, right? Because we can
No, you can't.
No,
there's a Scavenging Ooze that's active.
Oh, you're correct. No, it's not active. Isaac tapped out.
Oh, so Kyle does have a chance here. If he puts the... Yeah, he'll take... I mean, he'll get... For what it's worth, he'll get the Overgrown Tomb with this. He'll draw.
And I believe he does have enough mana to snap Cryptic if he had drawn the snap.
I think you drew the snap. That's a snap. That's a snap.
Oh, but we tapped double island to do this. So now we have to Ghost Quarter ourselves.
No, we don't. It's snap Cryptic. There's 4 blue sources required.
Oh, right.
We're fine. We're fine.
We're fine.
No, but the Scavenging Ooze is active again.
Oh, yes, you're right.
It's over.
Unfortunately, yes, it is over.
I think...
Oh, with the Gavany Township, now it's super over. The Gavany Township is going to put 3 power in the air. Just from the birds alone.
Please eat that. Please. Okay. He'll eat in response to the Snapcaster targeting it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Isaac wins this game, and they have 5 minutes to play the last game.
Yeah, so long as Isaac sends
He could have won this game like 10, 15 minutes ago.
Yes, but...
But what, Dan?
Yes.
Gonna line up some blocks here. He's still not... Kyle's still not...
Because Isaac didn't turn the Birds of Paradise and the Devoted Druid sideways, this is not going to be lethal. He
didn't even attack with the Revoker.
He didn't attack with the Revoker. He didn't attack with
He's
the
gonna
Birds of
do
Paradise.
6 damage in the air.
Okay, so Kyle, again...
Can just rip... Well, no, Supreme Verdict doesn't do it. We've known this for some time.
Yeah. Targeted removal might be... Yeah,
scoops.
so we're gonna scoop it up.
Okay, so the only reason this match is going to draw, though, is because we missed lethal, like, literally 5 turns in a row.
Yeah, well, yes, but unfortunately there's not much we can do about that. But, moving past that, looking at Kyle's line, I think... So Kyle was in a very rough shape for most
But
of the
I think
game.
you just have to take the damage, bounce the Selfless Spirit, and then get back in it with the Verdict.
Right, I think, Kyle didn't draw to his outs. And admittedly, the outs were not...
He sided out the combo.
Okay, so we've been told that he sided the combo out. Why are you playing this deck if you side the combo out? Why are you playing this deck? That's like a real question. Like, does this deck have like better? Wow, CW8 Smith, by the way, you were super right. But like, he had the combo game 1-2 and he didn't do it either. So like, I'm not sure that's the limiting factor here.
Yeah, the thing is, the combo element, because you have...
So many bad cards.
Well, no, because you have Court Calling, just having the inclusion of one card means that you have so much access to all of it. Even if you boarded out the Walking Ballista, if you just played Dustwatch Recruiter, you could have drawn your entire deck and deployed almost all of it. Right?
Yeah, you could have played your whole deck, and you could have played the Selfless Spirit, and then like make him have Verdict. If he doesn't, you kill him with your whole deck.
It's super cute, but because Dustwatch looks at your deck in increments of 3, and you don't necessarily have to take it.
Right, you can reorder your deck.
You can effectively reorder your deck, so you can draw like a ton of creatures, and then like you can play 4 Finks, put a Gavany Township on top, and then
how do you lose?
Right, because even if they
have to double Verdict.
They have to double Verdict, and if they don't have the first Verdict, then you just have these Sphinxes that would never go away.
Alright, Isaac's gonna fetch into a bird. We'll see if he shocks for it or not. Everyone with their... Yeah, that sounds like time was just called too. So... Draw?
No, surprisingly, Isaac can still win this game.
Maybe if he... You know what's really good? Is when you have a combo in your deck that kills your opponent when you resolve it.
Right. Alright, but yeah, Isaac on an ideal start here. Kyle's going to have Counter Magic likely for the next play.
Or Spreading Seas, although Spreading Seas doesn't really hurt you if there's a bird.
Spreading Seas doesn't hurt as much. I would leave up Counter Magic.
Yeah, he has Leak Up.
Yeah.
Alright, Isaac is turn 1 here. Let's shock for a Temple Guard and go to 17. But they're just gonna... I feel like they're just going to draw here. Kyle has enough interaction to stop things from happening. Finks? Okay, you leak this, not close.
I think, yeah, you leak this, just...
Turn 2.
Turn 2. I think because Isaac is turn 3 and 5, so he does have the opportunity to win if Kyle has literally nothing.
Kyle has a path, though.
Okay, I do not think we can beat the path.
I don't think we can either.
Oh,
Yeah.
also a Detention Sphere. So if we have a 4th land, we have Detention Sphere and path.
Yeah, I think we're drawing here.
Isaac, if he has a land, can go Coco, which is quite good.
Sure.
Dispel?
No Dispel.
Okay.
I mean, if he hits both combo pieces, he's fine, but I think he might have...
Well, the problem with hitting both combo
my
pieces,
God.
it's not instant speed.
Oh, you're right, because Summoning Sickness.
Because Summoning Sickness is a thing.
So he hits Finks.
He is putting a lot of power on board, though.
I mean, he's only got 2 turns to use this, plus Kyle has a path here for the Finks.
Kyle's going to path the Finks. He's going to go to his turn 4.
I think he has Cryptic, too.
If he has Cryptic, then I mean this is lights out. He also has Detention Sphere. Oh,
he has a Snapcaster too. He can Snap Path. Go to turn 5, he says.
yep.
And this is going to be a draw.
A little bit unfortunate, but you know, like I said, like this is a very new combo, and looks like turn 5 here.
I mean, I don't think he has lethal.
No, it looks like he is gonna try to Coco again, but Kyle's gonna snap Mana Leak this.
All
right, and
oh, he's going to pay?
yeah, oh, you're right. Isaac can pay for this.
Yeah.
All right, is there justice in this world?
There's a Vizier.
There's a
Okay.
that is a Vizier.
Okay.
Oh, that's a Dust March!
Okay, so he can make infinite mana.
Did he leave the Walking Ballista in the deck?
Is the... Oh, you can't do this 3 cards at a time. Oh, man, this is going to take so...
So, Kyle, oh my god.
If Ballista's not in the deck, though...
I think Isaac boarded it back in. Isaac is incredulous that this is happening to him.
Wow, I completely forgot that he could pay for that. I might have, if I were Kyle, I might have Snap Pathed the Devoted in response to the Coco.
I think you're right. I don't think we can lose if we Snap Path.
Okay, but Isaac we still haven't seen the Ballista. Ewit? Okay, so we're gonna Ewit. But like, can he win? Miss?
Alright, we're about halfway through.
Kasali?
Alright, none of these cards are relevant.
It literally has to be singularly okay.
Alright, there's the Ballista.
I do not
I do not believe it.
I do not believe it. I think you have to Snap Path the Druid instead of the
I think you do. And I
don't think Kyle realized he could pay.
Right, Kyle obviously snapped it off quickly enough that he forgot he could pay. So I'm gonna
step outside, see what's going on out there. Alright, this is my life right now. Just a little bit like this. A little bit of this. Alright, so Isaac Sherman wins the match in turn 5 with the perfect company through a Snap Mana Leak. Oh, man. That's Collected Company the card for you. Holy moly. I don't know what, yeah. Just exactly not like this, CW8 Smith. Oh, boy. Yeah, that one doesn't feel great. Like, obviously, like, very fortunate to get that Coco at the end there. I mean, Kyle obviously also missing the fact that Isaac could pay for the leak and still potentially win the game off of it. TX Rager, I don't think he actually had Cryptic. I think I may have misspoken about what was in his hand. I think he had Snapcaster, but I don't think he had Cryptic, or else obviously you just hard Cryptic that. So, yeah, we'll see. Dan, I believe, is gathering information about what just happened. But I think that in that situation, if you have a path in the graveyard, you say, okay, he's going to Coco. And okay, so it comes down to the fact that Kyle forgot that Isaac had the ability to make 3 mana with just 2 dorks in play because of Devoted Druid. It's not just a combo piece. It does actually sometimes, it is sometimes relevant to get you that extra mana to ramp with. And here it turned out to be, what won the game for Isaac. But, yeah, so add green, untap it, add green again, pay with the birds. So, yeah, I think Snap Path is right. But I also really can't fault Kyle for being like, oh, game's locked up, Snap Leak. If you think about it a little bit, you know that he can pay. If you have hard counter magic, obviously you do it there, so I'm going to assume that there is no Cryptic. But I think just, he needs, 3 pieces to combo, and one of them's on board. And if you kill the one that's on board, you don't have to deal with the you don't like there's no way that they can get 3 things off of collected company. The only way that Isaac could do it is if he had a Duskwatch in hand and he Coco'd back into the combo. So like he's not out of it completely, but it would be hard because Isaac would have to hit specifically Vizier Devoted, and I don't think there's a Devoted in the last Coco. Oh. Yeah. No, if this happened on like at like a Pro Tour at a GP or something, this would be the next Lightning Helix. Although I think that I would have been removed from the broadcast team for yelling about missing lethal. So, who knows? But yeah, that one was super duper close. And hopefully we should get a 4th round soon. I will change this to 4th round coming up because something is happening out there. I would imagine that it's going down a little bit like Dan berating Isaac for missing lethal / boarding out the combo, and everyone else just waiting for pairings because that round went super duper long. Yeah. Yeah, also CW Smith, the unfamiliarity with the Druid Vizier combo is also a possibility. Because he definitely didn't know it when it first came down, so you know, that's rough. Definitely, you know, it's definitely not a deck that everyone has seen yet, although I think if you're gonna play it like a GP or something, or like just like a large, like an open, I think that's an interaction that you'd want to know, but like seeing it at the local level for the first time is probably just like, oh, like what the hell does this do? And it makes infinite mana. Jeez. Yeah, so I'm a little bit tilted, not gonna lie. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of suggestions here in chat. Dan's back with the pairings for the 4th round, though, so we can put this nonsense behind us. Did you give Isaac a good talking to? Or did he get a talking to from literally the whole shop already?
Some words may have been exchanged. So we're going to be actually watching an interesting match. We're going to be watching Tony Skripchek play against David Stream.
Okay, we're going to throw down the play overlay. What are they playing?
I'm not sure what Tony is playing, but he promised me 4 Eidolon Blossoms. So I'm interested.
Okay, that sounds exciting. And what's David playing?
Unknown, but both players are 2-1 here.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll see some interesting magic. Our 3-0 match right now is Sam Feldman against Vincent. Vincent we saw on Night of the Reliquary.
Mm-hmm. And do we know what Sam's playing?
I believe he's playing blue-white, but not positive on that. The other player who also is 3-0 is Isaac Sherman, as we just saw here.
Okay. So yeah, Tony probably playing something with a lot of green. He's probably playing a Nykthos deck, but we're going to put him as like...
Could be Nykthos, could be Enchantress.
Eidolon of Blossoms .deck. We'll update that as we go. And this one is unknown. So we'll get 50-ish minutes on the board. We'll hit go. And we're underway for the
final round here.
Yeah. All right. So I'm trying to see what's in David's deck, but I can't.
Yeah.
Turns out that craning your head doesn't work when it's just on a screen.
No, it's well,
Tony rolls an 11, so whatever he's doing, he's probably doing it first.
Hey, can't discount that boxcars here.
Oh, that's decidedly not boxcars. It's like 1/3 of a boxcar. That maybe gets you a rail and a couple cross ties.
Hey. For people going to GP Vegas, you know.
Okay, so Tony's playing a Utopia Sprawl deck.
Okay.
As he normally does. He has a Crater Hoof in his hand.
And I think
land,
that's about
Utopia Sprawl, and not much else.
I think it's... Oh, there's
the Nissa.
Okay,
This hand's super keepable.
Yeah, I keep this.
I think I see a Bolt over on David's side. I'm going to put Tony just on, like, green things. I'm going to put him on Green Devotion. We've seen this one before.
We have seen this before. You know, Utopia Sprawl, an incredibly scary thing to see.
Yeah, CW8 Smith, T2 Hornet Queen. We have seen that happen.
Yeah, last week Tony played a turn 2 Hornet Queen, which is a little bit disgusting.
Yeah, when you think about it, that's a lot of Hornets on turn 2.
Yeah.
Oh, and thank you to Find Horns and Captain Prairie Dog for the follows.
Yeah,
we appreciate you supporting the stream, despite through thick and thin. All right, so we're on a Scalding Tarn deck here. These decks tend to do badly against what Tony does. Looks like a Grixis deck with. Oh wait, David plays like Delver Shadow, or like did. If this isn't a Shockwind, I'll be surprised. Okay, I'm surprised. I think he's on Delver Shadow though, from what I remember.
If he's on Delver, I believe he is on Delver Shadow. We had him on.
Yeah, we had him before.
But
I still think you fetch down for that. But unless he doesn't have Death Shadow, you know what? I don't know. I don't know how to play Delver Shadow. I barely know how to play regular Shadow. So don't listen to me. That's
what that?
Oh, it's a Delver that's been altered to look like a Jedi.
Oh, interesting.
It has a lightsaber. Tony just rips a Courser of Crewfix and plays it. Top card is another Courser of Crewfix.
Okay.
Value Town.
Fortuitously, Tony's got a lot of lands in hand.
Oh, yeah, but you blind flip the Delver, and it's go time. Yeah, sorry to Jason L in the chat. Moobot will end you.
Moobot.
Ooh, the other side is dope, too, though. What is that?
Is that a... Not a... Oh, my God. How am I spacing on these? The little Ewok.
I don't know. Oh, it's an Ewok on top of a Stormtrooper, maybe? Whatever it is, these altars are amazing. Like, Tony has full art forests, but David has, like, amazing looking Delvers.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, if Tony plays a second Courser...
This Delver does nothing?
Delver, yeah, fetch land breaks even.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Moobot... No mercy for Moobot. I'm sorry. Also...
Alright.
Yeah, okay.
Tony's gonna take a hit for 3, and...
Second Delver. This one doesn't look like it's altered. And a Serum Visions. This will set up the... So now we're on a real Delver clock here.
Yeah, there's definitely something on that Delver.
Double Thoughtseize on top. Oh... Maybe.
Yeah, keep at least one, right?
Yeah, keep one, bottom the other.
So what?
Oh, because the thing is, if you're gonna have to fetch to get your Black Source.
Yeah. Tony
flips a Genesis Wave? Oh, we're in it. Okay, so this is a little bit different than what Tony normally plays.
Yes. Oh, man. Well, let's go ahead and pull up Genesis Wave here.
Don't worry, Dan. I'm already on
it. Tony's going to go ahead and gain 2 life here. Go up to 18.
Dude, you just make a ton of mana.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Tony can make a ton of mana.
Well, I mean, if he ever draws an untapper.
Yeah, so David...
Like, if he draws a Nykthos, we're in business. He has like 5 devotion already. This is actually going to net him a life because he'll go down 1, but then he'll go up 2. Back up to 19. However, David, if he does flip the Delvers, and he will flip the second Delver because we know he has a Thoughtseize. So, like, 6 is not something that Coursers do well against.
No,
like, you can gain some, but you will still take a bunch of damage.
But let's not forget, Tony can apply a reasonable clock here.
The 4 a turn is pretty strong from the Coursers. It's a hard card to deal with, too.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that Tony did this, unless he's also playing something with his last...
Oath of Nissa.
Oh, right, he has an Oath of Nissa in hand. In that case, this makes sense. Unfortunately, gonna hit 2 lands in a Utopia Sprawl with a land on top. Ooh, that is
it's unfortunate.
It is a little bit unfortunate, and because of the sequencing, Tony's gonna be forced to draw this Wooded Foothills as well. So David, when he plays his Thoughtseize, gonna be a pretty easy pick. One thing Tony might forgot to do as well is attack with the Courser.
I agree. He needs to double attack there.
No, he played 1 this turn. Remember?
But he still needs to single attack.
Yeah.
Notably, if he draws a Nykthos, he has 6 green up. Also, he does have a Crater Hoof in hand.
But it's likely David, not knowing what's in Tony's hand, is going to fire off this Thoughtseize.
Thoughtseize, sure. So David to 14, and then to 12 here. Tony shows him, He's got, so 2 lands and the Crater Hoof is down. So now David is just like, cool, go ham and attack. Or, well, first we'll Serum Visions. It's fine. Draw a card. Scry 2. It's hard for me to tell what's under there.
Yeah, at this point, Tony's going to take 6 here.
13.
Go to 13. Now, Tony can actually race this.
He can race this. The Courser's attack for 4. Ewit on top. Again, not ideal.
Yeah, but because we have these fetches, we can effectively shuffle away this Ewit if we don't want to.
Right. Attack for 4, put David to 8.
Now, David does have a bolt in hand, so the clock can close a little bit quicker.
I agree. He has 2. No, one is a Bloodstained Mire. Okay. He'll fetch here. He's getting pretty low. I'd be a little bit worried. We'll see what he gets with this. If it's going to be... I think he probably goes to 7 here. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like he goes to 7. He's gonna
I mean, the thing is, if David has a Death Shadow, then Tony's just no longer attacking.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this Ewit's interesting, right? Ewit is obviously like an amazing card, but unfortunately we're just not doing much with it.
Yeah,
right
I don't
now.
know what it's getting back.
Tony might have to fetch here.
He'll Fatal Push 1 Courser. Pretty good. Tap 1, tap 2.
Is that... Oh, is it
Terminate the other Courser. Okay, so now Tony's in a little bit of trouble.
I'm surprised that Tony didn't fetch to try to gain some life.
Well, you'd have to do it in response to the push on the first Courser.
Right, so he's going to draw the Ewit here.
Maybe Ewit something back.
Ewit the Courser? But
Sure.
we can't play it. I mean, yes, we can technically play it, but...
But you're just dead to the bolts.
You're dead to the bolt in hand, which you're not aware that David
Exists. Yeah. I mean, you just gotta try.
Yeah.
The double Delver is just super punishing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
and he'll show him the bolt, and that's gonna do it. Alright, so Grixis Delver, potentially Delver Shadow? I don't actually... I mean, if it has Thoughtseize Man, I think it probably has Shadows in
Yeah,
it.
so a little bit unfortunate. Tony kept a very land-heavy hand.
And just drew more lands.
Even if he had drawn like 1 Fury Lands, there's so many action spells in this. Like, a single Nykthos.
If he draws Nykthos, this game is crazy.
Yeah.
Looks like he does have a red splash, though, because there are red cards in the board. I think those might be Pyroclasms and Blood Moons. Blood Moons are great. Yep, bring them in. Turn 2 Blood Moon is really hard to beat.
Yes. I mean, David does... David has given no indication that he's on Death Shadow.
True.
But even then, like... And David did have some number of basics.
Yeah.
But there's just... It shuts off so much in your deck. And because you play so many forests... I mean, the only thing you're...
It's pretty
really,
free.
Yeah,
You can even name it with Utopia Sprawl.
The only thing you're really losing is Nykthos.
Right. Alright. So... we will go to a second game.
That we will. That we will.
Yeah, Boarding Outlet looks like Spell Snare. Spell Snare just, like, really bad, actually.
Spellspare not hitting a bunch. Tony looks like he boarded out his coursers.
Tony wants to be playing on
And-
1 and on 3 with his low drops. Like, Spell Snare just, like, I mean, he might have, like, a Scavenging Ooze or something, but probably not a lot of targets for that card.
Correct. Alright, cool. We're going to get shuffled up here for game 2. And, yeah, I mean, this synergistic deck that Tony has, if you have all of the pistons firing, it's absurd. You know, you don't need you have the nut draw, but even like a okay draw can be very
Genesis
explosive out of
Wave
the
for
game.
5 or 6 is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, short of the Utopia Spar, Tony also didn't have any ramp that game. Right?
Yeah, that's true. He didn't have an Arbor Elf, which is, when there's smoke, there's fire, and when there's Utopia Sprawl, there's Arbor Elf.
Yes. Admittedly, the Arbor Elf would have never lived with the context of what David's hand looked like.
Yeah, David did have, 2 bolts?
2 bolts, a push, and a terminate.
Yeah. Yeah. So, get the game 2 fired up here. We'll see how it goes.
Cool, and we appreciate everyone for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure to do this stream for you guys, and we it's a lot of
been
fun.
good.
Yeah.
You know, this has been a good we started in September.
Yeah, good
So,
couple
like,
of months.
Yeah, it's like 8 months or so. All right, so both players are going to draw 7. Tony with Utopia Sprawl. 4 lands. Oath. I think he probably keep. He does accidentally draw the Crater Hoof though.
Yeah.
My advice with Crater Hoof is don't draw it until you Genesis Wave into it.
Although you're Genesing waving for a lot if you hit that.
It's a mere 11.
Come on, Tony's gonna.
I don't think
cast
that's
something.
Utopia Sprawl. I think it's like an Overgrowth or something.
Yeah, that must be. It looks like Tony also doesn't have an Oath in this, which I thought he did have in hand.
Yeah, likewise. Let's see the hand here. He does have an Oath of Nissa. What?
Interesting. He chose not to play it turn 1.
I wonder why.
He may have wanted a little more context on what he's looking for.
Sure. Yeah, if he wants the 3rd land or not. I can see that if his... Yeah, so we've got a Garrick in hand, Crater Hoof, Oath. Was that a Primal Command or a Genesis Wave?
I think that was a Primal Command.
Okay.
Alright. So David's going to fetch shock for a Watery Grave, play Serum Visions.
The double Delver start last game from David was super punishing against Tony. He just couldn't deal with it. He, I don't know if he has ways to kill creatures.
And they immediately flipped as well. You know, one was a blind flip and one was set up with Serum Visions. But, I mean, we've seen Delvers not flip for like 6-7 turns.
Yeah. What is that card? Chat, please.
It's certainly...
It's a ramp spell that goes on a land, but I don't know which one it is specifically.
Yeah, chat, if you
you
can help us
know,
out.
it's like 1 and a green. It's an enchantment. It goes on a land. I can start gathering here. Hang on. Gather. No, it's not Utopia Sprawl though. It costs 2 mana.
Yeah, this costs 2 here, so...
Utopia Sprawl costs 1.
Yep.
So hang on. I'm gonna.
It looks very much like a... Oh, no, this is definitely not a Utopia Sprawl.
Yeah. So it's green.
Alright, David's gonna fire with another Serum Visions and a Delver here.
Okay. I think Tony's probably gonna cast a Garrick.
Mm-hmm.
Enchantment. CMC 2. Land. Alright. I put in a pretty decently specific Gatherer search. It could be...
Oh, because it could be a Fertile
Ground. I think it's probably a Fertile Ground.
Yeah, so this is just a 2-mana Utopia Sprawl, then.
Let's see if there's an older art of it that we can... Yeah, that's it.
Yep,
Okay.
this is certainly a Fertile Ground. Okay.
Oh, man. Gatherer search. Very good.
But yeah, Tony's gonna have access to an ocean of mana next turn. This is quite scary from David's perspective.
Yeah, he just has this lone Delver staring down.
Yeah, an unflipped Delver as well.
Yeah. This is so we've pulled a full Fertile Ground here, and it doesn't look like what Tony has on his, but that's the 8th edition art. So okay, that's a Nissa Vital Force. David will shock off a Blood Crypt, falling to 15.
Actually, instead of Fertile Ground, that might be Overgrowth.
No, because Overgrowth costs 3, I believe. Yeah, Overgrowth costs 3.
So
It costs
is a
2. It's Fertile Ground. I promise it's Fertile Ground. Push. Target your Arbor Elf. Yep, that's
certainly something that needs to happen.
Delver did not flip, so Garrick's going to fall to 3 here. A little bit unfortunate.
But hey, this Garrick is... I mean, so Tony currently has what? Access to 6 mana? 7 with a land drop?
Yeah, let's think. Yeah, plays 1. That one untaps and makes 4. Yeah, 6, 7. He can play Nissa Vital Force, easy.
He can play Nissa...
Nissa hit you for 5 is pretty fast.
Wait, don't forget, the 5/5 stays a creature until your turn. That can just be a blocker.
It's not the 8th edition one. It's the Urza's block one.
Okay, so Tony's gonna represent his mana floating with the dice. 3 mana floating.
He can Primal Command, or he can... I like Nissaing here. Oh, okay.
So Primal Command, bounce the Watery Grave.
And probably search for a green creature?
Presumably, yes.
2 mana, gonna
David's
remand
gonna remand that. Okay.
Okay. I mean, I think Tony can just do it again.
No,
he plus the Garrick. We're fine.
Yeah.
No, he can't. So untaps here, trigger top card Dismember. Reasonable. Flip the Delver. So I really think that if you're David here, you might want to look for a way, if you have the burn, to get this. Oh, and he does have Death Shadow in his deck. To get this Garrick off the board. I think it's important that happens. But I don't know if he has the ability to like burn it out from. Oh, and as I say that, he's tapping potentially a Bolt mana. No, this is a Thoughtseize. He'll go to 13.
Yeah, he's gonna look at. I mean, the Crater Hoof is scary, but probably the least relevant here.
Yeah, it's either Nissa or Primal Command. I don't know which one you're better able to beat. I think you might take Primal Command, be like Nissa fine, and then try to get the Death Shadow out and start attacking it. Because you can dismember one of the forest. You can dismember the forest that it activates. We'll pull up Nissa Vital Force here for you guys.
Yeah, and Nissa can also be attacked by Delver, but it looks like David's gonna go with.
He takes the Nissa.
And presumably hits Garrick. Yeah. Garrick down to 1.
Okay, so back over to Tony. Ooh, actually no, we're gonna see a Tasigur here. That's a lot of pressure. Tony will fetch here. So if you top the Tasigur though, David is not replaying it for a while.
Correct. So interesting, Tony. Well, Tony has no reason not to fetch for basic forest because of the further ground. He can just tap that for red in case he draws the Blood Moon.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, notably, Fertile Ground doesn't require you to name in advance, unlike Utopia Sprawl. When Utopia Sprawl enters the battlefield, you do have to pick a color. So if you're playing like multiple splashes,
ooh, and it looks like Tony drew another.
You drew Utopia Sprawl.
Right. So all of a sudden that's +2 mana.
Yeah.
Well, +1 really.
No, I mean he gets to untap it with Garrick.
Yeah,
he can make
the first one is mana neutral though.
Sure. Yeah. So tap here. Oh, same land. Okay.
Yeah.
That land taps for 4. No, 3. 3. The Fertile Ground is only 1, so that's 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Activate, untap. 5. Primal Command. Target Blood Crypt, okay, and search for a green creature.
Yeah, remember, Primal Command reads non-creature.
Oh, really? Okay. That's unfortunate.
And Tony has access to 4 mana here.
I think that's an Eidolon of Blossoms that he was telling us about.
That is Eidolons of Blossoms. So Tony's gonna go ahead and draw from that.
Sure. Notably, one thing we haven't seen from Tony so far is a Nykthos. Like...
Nykthos would be for an absurd amount.
Yeah. Draw step is... I couldn't tell what he drew, but he's tapped out now. So the thing is, Tony loses the Garrick here.
Yes.
And loses the ability to make, like, an ocean of mana, and is just left with a small...
I mean, Tony still has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana.
I mean, it's not a little bit of mana, but it is like with the Garrick you're going up to like 10, which is so much. Yeah, so replaying the Blood Crypt actually is going to further enable the Death Shadow that is about to happen. So here I think you swing the Delver at the Garrick and the Tasigur at Tony and see what happens. Okay, so and also we're going to get a 4-life Dismember down to 7 here. Play a 6/6 Death Shadow, good, and attacks. Yep. So, yeah. So Tony puts himself at 13. So I think we might have missed a point somewhere, but that's fine. We'll put him at 13. Tony facing down a board that is lethal. Yes, board is lethal. Arbor Elf. Don't know if that's enough.
Seems unlikely that is enough.
Oh, David has Static Caster and a Bolt.
Oh.
Well, he can't do both, but he can static caster here.
Is this enough? That is...
I think that is. I think he's just dead, right? It's a
6,
6,
10, 13?
10, 13 sideways.
Mm-hmm.
And
like
that'll
that is
do
my-
it. David Stream, Grixis, Delver, Shadow. Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah. So Dan and I having a discussion here. Dan is going to try to find another match, but if people are in the middle of games and stuff, we're not going to make you guys stick around. So Shadow decks, I don't think they play Dismember more because sometimes... actually, that's a good question. I think it's... The question is, what does Dismember kill that push doesn't? Like, opposing Tassigers, I don't think it kills Glyphs a lot. It is a good point, is why is it not like a one of? And I'm honestly not sure. Yeah, I frankly, I have no idea. Maybe people feel that you have enough to enable the Shadow without it. That's a possibility. Looking at David's sideboard, we do see the Is It Static Caster. We see Collective Brutality and a card that's hidden from us. Coming back in, we have... That was a main deck Shadow of Doubt that just went into David's deck. That makes me so happy. Oh, that is a main deck Shadow of Doubt. Ooh, spicy meatball. Okay. So we will see if Dan can find another match. All right, so Dan, anyone out there ready and willing to jump on the stream, or are we going to wrap it up?
It looks like there's a bunch of people who are kind of in the middle of games, and this being the last round, we would... it might... Logistically, it's a little easier to perhaps just call it a night here.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll kick it back up to the booth. So this stream is sponsored by MTGCardMarket. If you're in the Chicagoland area, we'd love to come have you play here. Yes, that is currently outdated. So we'd love to come have you play here. We're off the Belmont Red Line stop. So you get off of Belmont Red Line stop, you go on the south side of Belmont, you walk roughly 2.5 blocks west, and you'll find the shop. Coming up this weekend, May 13th on Saturday, there's a standard 1K GPT.
Yes, actually, I believe it's a 1.5K.
1.5K. Okay.
Yeah,
wow, that's legit.
In anyways, it's a pretty large cash tournament, and it's always a great time. There's a lot of good players, and it's, you get to play while the Pro Tour is also happening. So
new standard, yeah. There's gonna be like they'll probably wind up throwing the stream up at some point. I have to imagine.
Yeah, presumably so. But in any case, not a bad way to spend a Saturday. MTGCardMarket will also be in GP Vegas.
Yeah.
We'll be one of the vendors there. So if you're going to that event, feel free. I believe we're both going to.
Yeah,
GP
we're both going to Vegas. Dan will be at the Card Market booth. I'll probably be hanging around somewhere around there.
Yeah, so absolutely stop by. Say hello. Pick up some cards, sell some cards. But yeah, it should be a good time. But yeah, we've definitely enjoyed having everyone here tonight. Thank you once again for joining us this evening. And with that, I believe we'll be signing off.
Yeah, we're signing off. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.